Fantasy Sports Station.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
Very good afternoon to you as we welcome you on into Rochester's only local sports talk show in the afternoon. It's the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia. Glad you're with us. Thanks for listening along at 95.7 FM AM 950, our YouTube channel where we stream live every afternoon starting at 3. That's the Fan Rochester on YouTube. And, of course, you can hear us in the free-to-download Odyssey, iHeartRadio, or TuneIn apps. I'm Danger. Over there, that's Battaglia.
I've heard this from more than one person, and I'm sure you've heard the same thing too, Danger. Like when you get to know somebody that has made it and retires, and quite often that person will say, you know what? I've never been busier. How is that possible? Unless you would say, for me, my ideal retirement would be watching baseball today at 1, at 4, at 6, and then watching the night game. I mean, that would be just kind of an ideal retirement.
I think to myself what it must be like when you're retired, and I think the thing that you have to consume yourself with, and maybe there's retired listeners right now, some of our regulars that could back this up for me, is like you still need a routine. Like, it sounds nice. It sounds like, permanent vacation, but you still need routine. You still need purpose. You still need things to do. So maybe that's where that comes from people saying, I've never been busier. Like, you want to stay active. You want to stay busy. Otherwise, in a zero-gravity environment, your muscles atrophy and you just wither away. So I can hear what those people are saying, but you're right. I mean, your routine might be, no, I'm watching the ball game today, and I'm watching the ball game tomorrow, and I'm watching it every day. I'm making the time that I would be working if I was working, but I'm retired now, so I've afforded myself the time to build this into my routine. And for that, I say I am insanely jealous because, yes, we want that action, and we had some yesterday, and we'll get to all of that. We're in October. October is here. The greatest of all sports months is here.
I would listen to the argument that April is also good with the start of baseball, the Final Four, the Masters, and, of course, the NFL draft to cap it all off.
No.
But October.
October's number one.
Like, I mean, real NFL over the NFL draft every day.
Yeah. October's 1. I'd listen to April as maybe like 2, or April's certainly top 3. I would give April a top 3 ranking, but October is easily the best month in sports with the start of hockey and basketball on top of the baseball and top of the NFL and college football and everything that goes with it. Hell, I'll even throw in the WNBA playoffs. I mean, you've got it all going on in the month of October.
Wow.
You've got it all in the month of October. We are here. We've made it. It doesn't feel like, well, I shouldn't say it doesn't feel like October. I'm wearing a T-shirt today thinking to myself, the sun is out and September is summer after all. Fall doesn't really start.
Violated the rule, buddy.
Fall is a myth.
No. You taught me this. Shorts till it snows.
Yeah, I like shorts till it snows.
Is it snowing out?
No.
What are you doing wearing jeans?
Feeling like a little bit crisp today, a little crispy in the air, and I'm not angry at any of it. It's the elite season. We are in the month of October, and we're going to talk about some of the action that's happening, not just around the Buffalo Bills, not just around the world of football, but also in the Major League Baseball postseason, the wild card round that got underway yesterday. One of our favorites stopping by during happy hour right at 5 o'clock. We're lucky to be able to talk to him. He's on at the same time as we are in Boston on our sister station, WEEI. Talking about Fitzy, Nick Stevens, who's going to be stopping by during happy hour.
We got to know Fitzy a couple years ago, right? And this is when things started to fall apart for the Patriots, and we got to know him that he's the in-stadium host for the Patriots, at least was. I don't know if he's still doing that because he has another job now. He's with WEEI and our company, and he's doing afternoon drive. So he will have takes on the Patriots. Should we be worried about this team? I would think, though, the Patriots are a distant second when it comes to Boston sports talk these days after what happened last night, and we'll get to that as well. So he's one of our favorites. Nick Stevens, a.k.a. Fitzy, will be joining us about 5:05 p.m. today.
Stopping by as he does every Wednesday afternoon at 3:25 with his favorite plays for this weekend in sports. The great PJ Glasser, host of Send It In on the BetMGM network. Insider calls presented by BetMGM. Check out all the latest lines today on the BetMGM app.
So, yes, PJ will pick Patriots against the Bills. Right now, the Patriots getting the 7.5 points. We'll also go over the college slate, and this week is good, including a game that I didn't think any of us would have circled, but whoa, look at this. Vanderbilt is actually 5-0. Vanderbilt at Alabama.
Don't care.
No, you care about that matchup. You're just channeling Jay Cutler from Vanderbilt.
Jay Cutler, can you tell us how excited you are as you're in jail right now about your undefeated company? Don't care. We'll get PJ on with us here in about 20 minutes or so. We have time for your calls this afternoon. You're welcome to join us anytime. 585-866-4FAN, 866-4326. We're also on Elon's Twitter. That's X. You can find us at The Fan Rochester, all your social media platforms at The Fan Rochester.
Great to have you. Bills are working again today, as I guess when you're going to see the photos when you get home and you look at your phone. Oh, hey, those are the new helmets they're wearing. It's actually their own helmets. If you've seen the video, too, they take the decals off and they slap new decals on.
Yeah.
So it's a very intricate process, but getting ready for these new unis. The practice unis, other than the helmets, pretty much the same today. Matt Milano back at practice.
Ed Oliver limited a practice today, back to practice. Every Buffalo Bill practicing today, save for Dorian Williams, who sat out with a knee injury.
So, okay. Like, I think you're going to – and Dorian Williams hasn't looked quite right, but if you can get Oliver back, if you can get Milano back, this is a divisional game, and we have just kind of coasted here thinking the Bills are going to just waltz away for the division. You got to make sure you take care of business. That's what Sunday night is all about. You don't want to give any team any hope. Hang another divisional loss on the New England Patriots. Put the Patriots below 500.
I love that we're kind of it feels a little load management-ish. I'm just going to throw it out there. I mean, Dorian Williams has been dealing with a knee all season, right? Like, he was dealing with it in the preseason. He was dealing with it at training camp. He missed some time.
Now, let's be honest. He didn't look good against the Saints.
And that might be part of it. The knee might be part of it. So Milano goes back into practice. Williams comes out. I really think they're very strategic with reps, not just during the game, not just on game days, but also throughout the course of the week. Give them the time that they need to heal up and rest up and realize that, yes, this is an opponent, New England, that is going to be an upgrade from what you've had the last few weeks as you go to 4-0.
They are, but there is one instance where I want to just point out, why is Joey Bosa on the field so much? I think Joey Bosa, you brought him in just to be the third down specialist.
Joey Bosa is a free agent at the end of the year. Joey Bosa needs a new deal.
This is the quid pro quo. Come in. We're going to.
I mean, honestly, would you put it past them to say, if they said to Joey Bosa, hey, we want to manage your reps, we want to limit your reps, and he said, I'm here to make money. I want to make money in my next deal. I got to get one more deal out of this, and if it happens here, great. And if it happens somewhere else, I need to show everybody that I can still play.
Yeah. Sure, but we're at the point where can he actually hold contain? Look, Lamar Jackson will do that to a lot of people. Alvin Kamara now in year number 8, you really don't need to be having him run around.
I would just say he's still a better option than I think anything else you have out there right now at end. I mean, it's him and it's Rousseau, and those are still your best two options.
I thought maybe Epineza could be okay, and I don't know what they have here in Landon Jackson. That continues to be a storyline. I thought for sure, all right, last week, Landon Jackson, the Saints, this is where you're going to give him a jersey. They did not, so we're still waiting for Jackson to make his regular season debut for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, so we got the first look at the new rivalry helmets today at practice, and the good news for the Buffalo Bills, pretty much everybody healthy, with the exception of Dorian Williams, who sat out of practice today. Normally on Wednesday, when we hear from head coach Sean McDermott, we play a game called McDermott McLies, and I'm just doing a quick scan here. I don't see this, but I didn't want to acknowledge McDermott McLies today so much as I wanted to acknowledge McDermott's knowledge of current internet memes and culture. He dropped a 6'7" on everybody. You don't know what this is because your
No.
kids are out of the demo, but I have a high schooler. 6'7" is like this. It's all the kids just 6'7". It's just something to. Pizza Dude knows what I'm talking about. He's
Okay.
here in the studio.
So okay, well, McDermott's, how old is his youngest? It's got to be.
He's
like
got to
that.
be a high school kid, right?
Yeah.
If he's in high school, then he knows 6'7", and there's a hand motion that goes with it too. And McDermott even did like a little bit of a hand motion. He goes, he knows what's up. McDermott is plugged in. He's plugged into pop culture. He's plugged into his roster. He's more engaged and dialed in than I think we've ever seen the coach.
I don't think this is about the meme or quizzing us. Do you know what this meme is?
He brought it up out of nowhere.
I think the bigger picture isn't this a continuation of the Snow Angels?
Yeah.
Like, it's the Patriots. This was a franchise that owned you. This is a potential, if it goes bad, you're not thinking about the worst. You're setting a tone if you're able to joke about a meme that, honestly, I have no idea what it is.
I think we have some 6'7" players on the roster as well, but he wasn't referencing any of the 6'7" players on the roster. He just brought up, completely out of context, just brought up 6'7". And it's fun. Now it's become, what it's become, Gino? It's become like, how whenever you say the number 69, I always say nice. Like I never get tired of a 69 joke. I think that's this generation's version of that is 6'7". And so like I did it to my daughter the other day. She was picking me up at the airport. And you know how at our airport you've got the columns and they all have numbers on it. And she's rolling up. I'm like, yeah, I'm between column 6 and 7. And she's like, Dad, no. I'm like, okay, all right, fine, I will not.
All right. Confession, I never heard that. So you're telling me 6'7" is a 69 joke?
I'm saying it's not a 69 joke because it's not the same thing.
Okay.
But it is what that joke, what nice was to us, I think is what 6'7" is. Is not a sex thing. It's not a that kind of a joke. But if you this pops up in my feed, Gino.
It's not a joke, though. You can go on the FCC airwaves and explain to us old men over here.
No, because nobody really knows. The origin of it was from a hip hop song, and kids started saying it. And then I think one of the Ball brothers in the NBA mentioned that he was 6'7", and he did this hand. How tall are you? I don't know, 6'7", and he like did the hand motion. Then you just started seeing kids doing it. And now like. The thing that crosses my feed, which cracks me up, we don't have any In-N-Out burgers in our area, but at In-N-Out Burger, they announce your order number, and when they announce order number 67, the place goes nuts. They absolutely destroy the place in celebration, throwing napkins all over the place, screaming, and everybody catches it. So it's again, this is the society we have crafted for ourselves. I was just kind of very, very surprised that Sean McDermott out of nowhere made a 6'7" reference today in his press conference.
How did he segue to that?
You know what? I only saw the clips of. I only saw him mention it, but I don't know where. We'll have to. When we talk to who are we talking to later this week? Are we talking to Fatesy? We're talking to anybody? We're talking to Thad. We'll get Thad to explain where the 6'7" reference from Sean McDermott came out of. Because, again, he wasn't talking about the size of any of the guys on his roster, although I'm sure he's got a 6'7" guy on his roster. Yeah, so there you go. There's McDermott. That was my biggest takeaway from today's press conference.
I totally forgot about this. One of our true regulars writing in, Greg, I retired from active military duty 20 years ago after serving 20 years, but clearly young enough to work. Also, hobbies and toys cost money, so... You work, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And Greg, I appreciate that. I think you have to. I think if you're gonna say I've never been busier than ever, there's probably some truth to that you're not working, but you are busy. You are keeping yourself active. You're keeping yourself busy, as I think you should. Like I said, in a zero gravity environment, muscles atrophy. You don't want to see that happen. So you keep at it. You stay active. So, all right, there you go. Now, last night, Gino. Where do we start with Yankees, Red Sox?
Well, if you thought the Guardians getting a runner on third and not bringing that runner home with nobody out was bad, let me introduce you to the New York Yankees last night. It's Chapman on the mound. The hell?
He signed a deal with the devil, that one. I mean, he is I knew he was still out there. I mean, you got to remember, like 2016 Cubs, that's my team. He was a part of that. He was throwing gas back then, almost 10 years ago, and he's still bringing it. He's still bringing the heat. He's a bad dude off the field.
Do you remember he got to the Cubs because the Yankees traded him to the Cubs? He goes back to the Yankees, and then, all right, and you talk about the life cycle of a corner in the NFL. What about the life cycle of a left-handed, flame-throwing reliever? Hey, you can pitch forever. You're left-handed. And he clearly lost it as a Yankee to the point where he was benched during some of these postseason in recent years. Then you're bouncing around, and then, all right, where is the last stop in your career before you head overseas? That would be called Pittsburgh. And while he was in Pittsburgh, one spring training, this picture surfaced of him and grandma, except that was his mom, playing honk-honk. I'm like, this guy, not only is he not good, he's weird.
Grabbing a handful, more than a handful. Yeah, weird. Not a great guy, right? Just not a great guy off the field, but still brings it on the field. And he gets out of a jam. I mean, you had bases loaded in the ninth, and the Yankees fall to the Red Sox. I don't know that they were beating Garrett Crochet the way he was pitching last night. To see that guy do what he did, to have his last pitch be his hardest, I'm like, wow, that was a performance. Contrast that with the cowardice of Boone and him pulling his starter when there was probably a little bit more left in the tank there. What are you doing? Saving him for his next big start in March?
Well, he's rolling the dice, and as they pointed out, like for either one of these guys, when you take the wild card route, you're looking at 7 starts here in the month of October. That's a lot. But like you said, you can't – it's like Survivor football. We'll worry to that at a later date. You need to win this game. I think Boone set the tone, actually, where when you get to the postseason, and you could look at the analytics all you want, you ride or die. I'm sorry. Like, one of the guys that got you there is Jazz Chisholm. One of the guys who got you there is Ben Rice. What are you doing? You by-the-book nonsense. And Chisholm, post-game, clearly pissed to the point where he can't even turn around and talk to the reporters. He's talking to his shirt rack there, as he should. He's an emotional guy. So the Yankees, now your season comes down to win 2 in a row or go home. Can't wait to talk to Fitzy here.
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to Fitzy too. And I'll say this, because I was going back and forth with one of my Yankee fan friends, and I'll be the first to admit, I have not watched every Yankee game. I have not watched a ton of Major League Baseball through the course of the season. I'm not what you would call a Major League Baseball expert. What I saw last night was Boone following a formula that I don't think he needed to follow in the postseason. I think in the postseason, your soul has to come into it a little bit. There's science and there's soul. I think that's the art of a good manager. And for him to pull Fried when he still had, I think, some gas left in the tank and the ability to get him through the 7th and then hand it over to your bullpen. But that on top of that, I think that just a lack of creativity. The lineup is questionable. And then what you have in the 9th inning where you have the bases loaded, nobody out, and you can't even get one across the plate? Well, you can't even get one?
There was also, and again, the 3-1 game, this isn't a deciding run, but it was a big run nonetheless, where you're in the 9th and Bregman doubles in run number 3. Bregman was somebody that I thought, okay, with the money the Yankees saved, you mean to tell me that can't be your third baseman, or you can't find somebody, for that matter, the Mets or any other contending team? Yeah. So credit the Red Sox for going about it this way.
Guy's such a Yankee killer. He probably thought, no, that's the last place I want to play. I don't want to play for the I'm a Yankee killer. I want to continue to kill the Yankees. Guy was clutch again last night. Now, all that said, Gino, I still like the Yankees. I think the Yankees can win the next 2 and advance. I was telling my buddy that I was going back and forth with. He was mad. He was pissed off. I'm like, this is why I can't imagine being a Yankee fan, because you're pissed off every night. Like, even when they win games when you think they shouldn't have won that game. But they'll still win games. The Yankee games that I did watch this year, a lot of them were that. It's like, how are they winning this game? Because they're sloppy, they're poor on the base path, their defense is their bullpen is terrible. Like everything that it's all a joke. Yet they still find themselves in the postseason and in these positions. And I don't know why, but I feel like the next 2 games, they're going to find a way to get it done.
I don't have that feeling. I have that feeling about the Cubs, though. I think the Padres are kind of a top-heavy team, and the Cubs did just enough yesterday. So we got that game coming up here in a little bit. Dodgers and Reds. It was so much fun. Like, okay, let's get you to this game. And then, like 1 minute into it, oh, there's Ohtani hitting
East
a home
Coast
run.
dads appreciate Shohei Ohtani. East Coast dads appreciate the volume of runs scored early in that game. We knew it's done. Okay, time for some shut-eye. That was an easy one to call. We've got a tie game right now in Cleveland. I want to say it's 1-1 right now.
Yeah, Tigers have runners on the corners with 2 out in the 7th.
Top of the 7th. So, and we'll keep you updated on that. We'll keep you updated on Cubs and Padres as well, just getting underway from Wrigley. But next, we check in with our buddy PJ Glasser. He is the host of Send It In on the BetMGM Network, college football. NFL action. We'll get his favorite plays, his favorite bets for this weekend next on The Fan.
update.
Matt Milano and Ed Oliver back at practice today on a limited basis. Also limited, Spencer Brown and tight end Jackson Hawes. Dorian Williams, the only Bill to sit out today. Bills head coach Sean McDermott on what he's seeing on film from Patriots wide receiver Steph Diggs.
Very impressed. Not surprised, but very impressed in terms of how he looks. He looks great. Very few can come off of an injury like that from a timing standpoint, especially that first year, and look the way he looks. So, but I'm not surprised. He's a heck of an athlete, and he works extremely hard.
We'll talk to PJ Glasser, your host of Send It In on the BetMGM Network. PJ joining us next year in the Sports Bar. Baseball playoffs, the Tigers and Guardians tied at 1. They're in the top of the 7. Tigers with runners on the corners. Yankees need a win tonight to stay alive. They're down 1-0 to Boston. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
They've raised the bar on Rochester Sports Talk. You're in the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950 The Fan, Rochester.
One of our, if not favorite segments of the week. We're joined now by the host of Send It In, Odyssey Sports betting insider PJ Glasser. Insider calls presented by BetMGM. Go check out all the latest lines today on the BetMGM app. PJ, I feel like I haven't talked to you since, I don't know, the Open. When was the last time I had a chance to talk to PJ? And I know we're going to talk college football. I know we're going to talk NFL, but we've also got the wild card series happening right now. You know, we got the Tigers, we got the Guardians, Cubs, Padres, of course, the Yankees with their backs against the wall tonight at Yankee Stadium. I just wanted to get your overall take on this wild card round, if there's anything that you like, any plays for tonight's action.
Yeah, I mean, great to have playoff baseball, guys. Danger, good to have you back. Good to talk with you. Today I took the Cubs in this game against the Padres, so obviously not off to a good start, down 1-0. But you can get a better price on the Cubs than you initially could pregame. They were like -115. Now you can get them at plus money. So I do like the Cubs to win today and win that series. I like the Yankees tonight, you guys, against the Red Sox, but that's at -185 now. So I wouldn't take that. I kind of like the over in the game as well. I think we get some runs, so that might be worth a look. Nothing for me in Reds-Dodgers, and then nothing in this Guardians game. But Cubs right now live, if anybody wants to bet that, and then the over in the Red Sox-Yankees game. I think the winner of that Yankees-Red Sox series, you guys, I think is going to go to the World Series. I know Seattle's the favorite. They might have the MVP in Raleigh. They have a great pitching staff. I just can't buy Seattle as favorites. You know, for an organization that's usually never in the playoffs, for them to have that kind of expectation, I just don't want to bet them at the price. And then the Blue Jays, I know obviously in your guys' area, you know, there are some Jays fans there. They've had an incredible season. I just think now getting to this time of the year, I like the Yankees or the Red Sox a little better. So whoever you like to come out of that series, fellas, I would recommend maybe betting them to win the American League.
Yeah, PJ, it is the best time of year. We've got college football. We got the NFL. And let's start with college. And so our listeners, if they don't know, you are an Alabama grad. Alabama, this used to be kind of okay, we're going to chalk this one up and get a W here. We can't say that about Vanderbilt this year. Vanderbilt, the Commodores are 5-0. They're getting points on the road this week. Are you feeling comfortable here with Alabama, or is Vanderbilt for real? How do you play this one, PJ?
Vandy's for real, Gino. They absolutely are. I mean, College game day is going to be at a Vanderbilt football game. We've come a long way in the year 2025. They are they're for real. Their quarterback, Diego Pavia, has so much confidence, and it just feels like the team feeds off of that. Look, I mean, I've obviously talked about this game for a couple days now on my show, Send It In, and I've been listening to other people talk about it. And I think a lot of people are going to bet Bama this week, and they like the number now that it's at 10.5, but also the fact that they lost to Vandy last year, which you definitely like for Bama, that aspect of it. You know, they can learn from their mistake last year, the fact that it's at home. They've been much better at home with DeBoer than they have been on the road. But, guys, at the end of the day, like, all that's great, you know, that they can be more motivated and they're not taking Vandy for granted and they're going to learn from last year. Still got to go out there and execute. And the fact is, Bama cannot stop teams like Vanderbilt that are run first, you know, and they've just been struggling with it. It was a great win against Georgia, but, you know, I still have a lot of questions about that run defense, and Vandy is going to attack it. So the start is everything in this game. If Vandy gets ahead and they're able to play their kind of game and chew clock and try and go on 12, 14-play drives, Bama's going to be in trouble. If the Tide can get off to a good start and make Vandy play from behind, then they should be in a good spot. But anything north of 10, Gene, I like Vandy to keep it close.
Still feels weird to think of Texas as an SEC team, but I kind of dig the idea of Texas and Florida facing off this weekend, and these new rivalries that are kind of being forged with some new blood in the SEC. Tell me a little bit about why we've got Texas and Florida tagged here.
It's the number for me, Danger. It's 7. I think it's a nice buy on Florida because if you look at the total, it's at 41.5. So this game could be erased to 20. And, if you're giving me 2 elite defenses and you're giving me one of the best home fields in the sport and you're giving me the key number of 7, I'm going to take it with Florida. Both teams are off a bye. Arch Manning hasn't looked as great as a lot of people thought he would. And, guys, the truth is, Texas in these big games with Sark, they just have not put up points. If you go through and you look at some of the big games that Texas has played in, there are a lot of games where they've scored 14, 17, 10. It's just you think Texas, you think Sark, you think offense. It just has not come to fruition in these big games, and they're going up against a really good Florida defense. I think the fear is that Lagway is hurt. And, he had 5 interceptions against LSU. He turns the ball over a bunch in this game, and Texas just runs away. But you got Texas in your building. You're off of a bye. I still think they're going to play hard. They got a very good defense. So I just think, it's 7. It's a nice buy on Florida, so I like the Gators.
PJ, we got 2 ranked teams meeting, Miami and Florida State. And knowing the way you think sometimes, Florida State coming off a loss at Virginia. By the way, there will never be a better storming the field than what the Cavalier fans did last week. But that's like Florida State's a good team. They're still ranked. This should be a bounce back. And, hey, they're getting points at home against Miami. Oh, Miami's coming in here. And like the square me would say, okay, this is Florida State getting 4.5 points at home, even though it's Miami. It looks too good to be true. PJ, what are your thoughts here about this matchup?
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, Gene. You're exactly right. I usually love these kind of spots where a team like FSU loses a look-ahead game against Virginia when they're looking ahead to Miami, and you get some more value on the team that lost, but that just hasn't been the case. Before FSU played Virginia, the line was 4.5, and now here we are, and the line is still 4.5. So I don't really think there's value on FSU. I wish it were like 6.5 or 7, and then I'd really like them. You're going to get a max effort. It's similar to Bama, Georgia, right, where Bama had that one loss. Georgia didn't have any. You knew Bama would be a little bit more desperate. Same thing with FSU in Miami, where Florida State now has that one loss. They're at home, so they're going to be desperate. I think it's going to be a really good game. The Canes might be the best team in the country, you guys, in terms of offensive line, defensive line combination. They're excellent up front on both sides of the ball. You just worry about the quarterback, Carson Beck, and the head coach, Mario Cristobal, and not knowing what you're going to get out of those 2 guys. So usually in these type matchups, when you're getting a desperate team and they're a dog at home, I would lean towards Florida State. But I kind of feel like this could be a game where Miami wins by a touchdown. I've gone back and forth. If you had to make me pick the game, I'd probably take FSU, but I don't think I'm going to end up betting the game. Just going to sit back and watch it.
PJ, I wonder if you have a trend to share about college teams and their record after they fire their coach. We're looking at Oklahoma State hosting Arizona. Mike Gundy out. And he's a man. He's 40. Yeah. But he's out of a job right now at Oklahoma State. And we're wondering what you like about this Arizona-Oklahoma State matchup that we can cash in on.
So that's exactly the handicap, Danger, is that last week against Baylor was the first game since Gundy's firing, right? They were in Stillwater, so that's the game where you rally the troops. You get that extra bump from the coach being fired. Now I think this week it goes back to reality a little bit, and you're getting an Arizona State team off of a blowout loss to Iowa State. So Oklahoma State is awful. Their defense is horrendous. There's a reason Arizona is a 3-touchdown favorite in this game. So I think they absolutely roll. I like the Wildcats a lot on Saturday against Oklahoma State.
PJ Glasser, your host, has sent it in, our guest here in the Sports Bar, as we look ahead now to the NFL. And PJ, this matchup, 2 teams that had brutal losses. Raiders, a blocked field goal. The Colts, 80 Mitchell with, that fumble or whatever you want to call it, just trickling out of his hand and a holding call negating a long touchdown. The question here is okay, two teams we expect to bounce back. Both of them aren't going to bounce back. And this was a game that we actually, for a half second, actually considered for Survivor, but we found better options here. So the line I'm looking at right now, the Raiders getting 7. How would you play this one?
So what I love about this game, you guys, are both of these teams coming in have two things that I always look for when I'm betting the NFL. The first one with the Raiders is a team that was favored at home that lost outright, and you get them on the road the following week as an underdog. If you would just bet that over time in the NFL, very, very popular, right? Because we know the NFL is all about buy low, sell high. You're not going to get the same team 2 weeks in a row. So when you get a team who is at home and they were favored and they lose the game, the market's not going to be as high on them. But then when you go on the road, you're going to be much more focused, and you're going to try and get that game back that you should have won at home. So I like that aspect of it from the Raiders. I like the fact that they're getting +7. And then with the Colts, I always look to fade teams for the most part off of emotional road losses, right? A game that you should have had, you were right there, and then you got to come back home. You got to think about it all week. It's funny, the Colts just played a team in the Rams who were in that spot, right? I mean, a brutal loss against Philly, go back home. Colts should have won that game. They should be 4-0. So now they come back home. They're laying a touchdown. Geno's in a dome this week. I like the Raiders +7. I don't know if they win the game, but I like getting the key number with Vegas. At some shops right now, it's 6.5, 7. So make sure you shop. You bet if you like the Raiders, where you can get the +7. But I do like Vegas in the game.
Did you just drop a 6-7? He just dropped a 6-7 on us. You hear him?
Did he do that intentionally?
I don't know if he did it intentionally or not, but we were talking about that earlier, PJ. Gene had never heard 6-7 before, and Sean McDermott dropped it in his press conference today with no context whatsoever. So, now I've got a keen ear. I'm just listening for it all the time.
That's outstanding. I actually did not do that, but I'm glad it worked out that way. Just some cosmic thing going on throughout the sports bar today. I love it.
Giants Saints. So the Jackson Dart era apparently has begun. You get the upset win against the Chargers, a West Coast team traveling east last Sunday, and now you go down and you play New Orleans at home, a New Orleans team that's, I think, pesky. I mean, they haven't won, but they haven't won because they haven't showed up. They were pesky, and they gave the Bills some problems on Sunday. Which way are you leaning here for Giants and Saints, PJ?
Yeah, I like New Orleans, fellas. So, again, ugly game, right? Two of the worst teams in the NFL. After the Giants' upset of the Chargers, this line opened actually at Giants -2.5. And then all you've seen is Saints money come in, because I think a lot of the professionals and a lot of the sharp money is like, whoa, we're really going to make Jackson Dart a road favorite in the NFL. I understand he's playing against maybe the worst team in the league, but we're just going to do that off of one game. So I think that's what this handicap is, guys, right? Like, people look at these two teams, they look at the Giants, and they look at, maybe they're a good team now. They beat the Chargers, but in reality, they're not. They're not a good team. And there's a big difference in the NFL in starting on the road and starting at home. There's also a big difference when now NFL teams have some tape on you as opposed to when they don't. So Giants had a lot of things going for them last week. They were at home. They were getting the Chargers off of 3 straight divisional games. They had the element of surprise because there was really no film on Dart. Now New Orleans has a lot of things in their favor. And guys, look at the Saints season, right? Outside of the special teams debacle in Seattle, that really put that game out of reach. I mean, they hung with the Bills for 4 quarters. They hung with the Niners for 4 quarters. They hung with Arizona. So 3 of their 4 games, I mean, New Orleans was right there. I think they're the better team, and you're getting them at home. I like the Saints to win the game.
PJ, in danger for that matter, we are not going to have another uniform matchup. This is the best uniform matchup, not just this year, maybe in years, when Tampa Bay and Seattle are basically wearing what they came in the league in 1976. It's going to be elite. I'm looking at this line. I'm like, that I would have guessed maybe the Seahawks a small favorite, and it's actually Tampa Bay getting 3.5. I know Seattle has a good defense, PJ. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
It is a little bit of an interesting line, Gene. I am a little surprised that we're getting the 3.5. And you know what? If it's a trap, I'm going to walk right into it because I do like Tampa plus the points. Guys, Seattle is a team, man. I love betting them on the road, and I love fading them at home. We think of Seattle, and we think of how great they are at home. We think of how great their home field is, and it's still a great home field. Their fans are still terrific. But under Mike McDonald, this has just not been a team that has won at home all that much, and especially against good teams. So I like Tampa. Baker's good as a dog. You're getting the better quarterback in the game. You're getting the key number 3.5, and you're getting them off of a home loss. So I do like Tampa in this game. I think they're alive to win it outright. But, yeah, it is definitely a little bit, worrisome that it's like why it feels like this should kind of be like a 2.5, maybe 3. The fact that you're getting 3.5 now, I mean, the Bucs are still injured, but Wirfs is back, Godwin's back. Those guys are going to play again, and Buchan's still playing great. So I like Tampa, fellas. I like them plus the 3.5, and I think there's a good chance they win that game against Seattle.
And PJ, the game that we've spent the most of our time talking about so far this week, that would be, of course, the Sunday nighter with New England coming in to take on the Bills. It's a divisional game, so nobody takes New England lightly. Plus, it's New England now, who looks like they have their quarterback. Drake May has been good so far this year, and the Bills have struggled against mobile quarterbacks, as we saw week 1 against Lamar, and against the run, which the Patriots can do well. So, which way are you leaning for Sunday night?
Super interesting game, you guys. And, it's interesting to me. People were betting the Saints last week against the Bills, right? When I was talking to Gene on Wednesday, the line was 16.5. It closed 14.5. And, I mean, let's be honest, none of the public was betting New Orleans, right? So that was some professional money that was coming in on the Saints, and they were right. And you look at this game, open 9.5, down to 8.5, down to 7.5 now. I can't imagine too much of the public is betting on New England, in Buffalo in prime time. So I think there's some professional money on the Patriots this week that like them a lot. I would look at Drake May rushing props because to me, that is where I see the edge. Drake May scored touchdowns this year. He's used his legs a lot. I know the Bills are starting to have some defenders back at practice this week, but they're definitely still banged up a little bit on the defensive side. So I think Drake's going to use his legs a lot in this game. I think we could see some points as well. I don't hate the overlook. What I think is interesting is with Vrabel was with Tennessee, he was awesome as a dog against like the Chiefs and the Ravens, like the top teams in the league. He was really good as a big dog. But against Buffalo, like the Bills had his number pretty much with the Titans. So I think it's interesting how he wasn't great against Buffalo with Tennessee. He was great against some of the other top teams. We'll see how he fares with New England. But it's just scaring me laying the number a little bit with the Bills just because of how solid Vrabel was throughout his career with Tennessee when he was catching a lot of points. Divisional game, obviously. But the number is just interesting to me how it's gone down. So I don't have a play on the side, would lean towards the over, but I think how I'm going to bet the game is when those Drake May props, when they drop on these sites, I'm going to be interested to see what some of his numbers are for some of his rushing totals.
Yeah, the BetMGM model says that at 8 right now, the 59% chance the Patriots will come within that. The Bills will not cover. PJ, just wanted to kind of take your temperature on this because every Tuesday on our show, we pick our survive in advance. And last week, there was no drama. We picked the Bills. The only question was would they cover or not. And actually, if the Bills had scored a touchdown on the last drive, they would have. But regardless, Danger and I disagree. So I'm not going to tell you who we went with. How would you rank? How would you evaluate the options for Survivor football this week?
So to me, I think there are two clear choices. I think either you're looking at Detroit or I think you're looking at Arizona. I'm starting to lean a little bit more towards Detroit, though. But, guys, there are two things that worry me about both games, okay? With the Detroit game, do you know that the last 21 NFL games where you have had a home favorite who has been a dog of 7 points or more, that team is 19-1-1 against the spread, including the Browns, who covered against the Packers a couple weeks ago. Now, again, covering 10.5 and winning the game are two totally different things, but I found that interesting, if you're thinking about taking the Lions. And then with Arizona and Tennessee, guys, I think it's similar to like the Bills and the Saints, where Arizona was 9.5, now they're down to 7.5, and it's like, who in their right mind would want to be betting this Tennessee team? So I think both teams win, but don't be surprised if maybe both of the dogs potentially cover as well. If I had to make a choice, I think I'm probably leaning towards Detroit this week. If you want to really get nuts, though, fellas, I'm kind of maybe considering taking New Orleans as well. Because, when are you ever going to take them? I think, the Panthers play the Dolphins this week, and the Saints play the Giants. 4 teams that you're probably never going to use, but they just so happen to all be playing each other this week. We talk about this, Gene, each week, right? Do you roll the dice? Do you just play it safe? I mean, at some point, you are going to have to roll the dice potentially. And I really do like the spot for the Saints this week. So I don't know if I'm going to end up doing it, but I'm considering maybe thinking about taking New Orleans as well.
I love it. Yeah, going for the kill shot. That's what PJ's doing there. He wants the
shot,
kill
Saints.
shot in Week 5 if he goes with the Saints.
I agree with him, though. The Saints are frisky. They're going to get a win. And,
Exactly.
The Giants, there's some tape now on Jackson Dart and with no neighbors.
I'm just picking on a bad team. I know Tennessee is bad, but, man, Cincinnati looked really, really bad on Monday night.
They did, but, keep in mind, too, right? Browning was essentially on the road. He was on the road in both games. They were at Minnesota, at Denver. They were going up against a great defense in Denver and a very good defense and a good defensive coordinator in Minnesota. So the problem is, how is Cincinnati going to stop Detroit's offense? I get that. Detroit, if they don't turn the ball over, they're going to be able to just name their number in that game. But I do think you're going to see Cincy's offense look better just because they're at home and they're not going up against as good as the defenses they've seen the last 2 weeks. But look, this is what the Lions do, fellas. When they get hot and they get on a roll, Dan Campbell with his personality, he just doesn't have an off switch. We talk about letdown games all the time. You just don't get that a lot with the Lions because they only know how to play one way. So, again, there's a reason they're favored by 10.5. They're probably going to win the game. I do think the Bengals are going to play a little bit better, though, than what we have seen the last couple of weeks.
That's always kind of the trick, right? You know Tennessee isn't that bad. We know Cincinnati isn't that bad. It's all about trying to minimize the risk and just get to next week. PJ, tell everybody about Send It In.
Yeah, guys, 1 to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You can check out Send It In Mondays through Fridays on the BetMGM network. Our show is on YouTube. It's on Twitch. We live stream it on X as well on the BetMGM network account. So 30 minutes, guys, no commercial breaks. It's quick. It's rapid fire. And we're in the month of October, fellas. A lot of people feel like this is the best sports month on the calendar. All 4 major sports at one point will be played in the month of October. So awesome time of the year, and we'll be talking about each and every sport every day on Send It In.
I love it, PJ. Thanks for the time, bud. We'll talk again next week, same time.
Absolutely, fellas. Thanks for having me.
There he is, PJ Glasser. Send It In on the BetMGM network, giving us his favorite plays, college and pro football this weekend. Great information there from PJ.
I personally would not recommend rolling the dice with the Saints.
It's a ballsy move.
It would be a real ballsy move, like the Lions or the Cardinals. For the reasons he laid out, though, about the Raiders, I would feel a little sketchy about taking the Colts, even though the Colts, the line 7, that would fit the criteria. We didn't agree on that, so there's better options this week. I think you're safe on the Lions, and I think I'm safe on the Cardinals.
Both things can be right simultaneously. Well, who knows? Maybe we come back on Monday and we're both out of our survivor pool. That's the way the NFL works, right? Yeah. We got more next, including our buddy Fitzy from WEEI, our Odyssey Sports sister station. He's going to join us just over an hour from now during happy hour. We'll get his little preview of Yankees-Red Sox Game 2, and we'll also look ahead to Sunday night with the Patriots coming in to Orchard Park. We have more on the way next, Gino.
Yeah, we do. Things that I haven't caught you up on. Something happened while you were gone, and I need your opinion on this.
Oh.
Okay, so we'll go off the beaten path. We'll go over all the Bill stuff here coming up.
Maybe we'll get some regulars to join us as well at 866-4326. Pull up a stool, 585-866-4FAN.
Rochester, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester. WROC-AM, WBEE HD2, Rochester. And streaming online and in the Odyssey app at The Fan, Rochester. The sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester. An Odyssey sports station. The Fan, Rochester. Sports update.
Bills are getting healthier. Limited today, Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, and Spencer Brown. Also limited Jackson Hawes. Dorian Williams, the only Bill to not practice today. Quarterback Josh Allen on that Patriot defense.
Yeah, a lot of difference, a lot of turnover. They went out in free agency and got quite a few guys, and guys that, we've played in the past, and again, it's more about the culture that they're instilling there. And Coach Vrabel, I got a lot of respect for him, and I know our players have a lot of respect for him as well. So it's going to be a really good coached football team.
Coverage begins at 4 p.m. Sunday here on The Fan. Major League Baseball playoffs. The Guardians have gone up on the Tigers 3-1. They're in the 8th for that hold. That'll force a third game. Padres are up 1-0 on the Cubs. That's in the third. Yankees need a win tonight against the Red Sox to keep their season alive. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
We are back. Appreciate you listening at 95.7 FM, AM 950, The Fan Rochester, our YouTube channel where we stream live every afternoon from 3 until 6. We invite you to like, subscribe, and click on the bell so you know when we go live every afternoon here on The Fan. You can also find us on Elon's Twitter, that's X, at The Fan Rochester, the free-to-download Odyssey app, iHeartRadio, and TuneIn. I'm Danger. That's Battaglia.
Good to see the Bills getting a little healthier today. Kind of cool to see those new helmets they were donning. Didn't have the full-on uniform that they're going to be wearing coming up on Sunday night, but people really into kind of that look there today.
Yeah, the helmets look sharp, but more importantly, the team is getting healthier when you need them here. Divisional game against an opponent that I think is going to present a new set of challenges from what they've seen here the last few weeks against clearly inferior opponents in the Saints and the Jets and the Dolphins. And so with New England coming in and a team that, as Josh Allen said in your sports update, that's going to be a well-coached team. Vrabel doesn't mess around. Can you contain Drake May? What's it going to mean when a certain wide receiver we're all familiar with makes his return to Highmark Stadium? I mean, Mac Hollins showed up every week without shoes. We kind of fell in love with the guy. We'll have the game for you coming up here on Sunday night.
Miss Mac Hollins all that much, right? Like, the vibes actually come from winning. Isn't that kind of the thing?
I just wonder, I know he's going to get rained on with a shower of booze. Not Hollins, but Steph Diggs, obviously. And I don't have that in me. Like, I can't view him through the lens of, well, he plays for the Patriots and it didn't end well in Buffalo, so I'm going to boo him. Because all I remember is how great he was for that period of time as a Buffalo Bill and as we were watching the MVP ascend to the role that he is in now.
Yeah, he helped Josh Allen along, and it's kind of like the girl you dated was great until it wasn't great. And the breakup because the contract it was a year too late, in my opinion. But you still got a second round. And when you see Cole Bishop make a play like he did against the Saints, well, that's what you can thank Steph Diggs for now. Because
I guess what I'm asking is, will we boo Mac Hollins the way we boo Steph Diggs? If it's just about the laundry, can we boo him with equal vigor? Because he's not with us anymore. He's playing for but can we make fun of him for being a weirdo who doesn't wear shoes and doesn't use utensils? I mean, that's more weird than Diggs' behavior, if you ask me. And Mac Hollins is a little bit thirsty.
Can you play we'll do like McLeod's. I already heard the soundbite, but to hear Sean McDermott just say nice things about Stephon Diggs. Like,
yeah.
You know these are all lies, right?
He doesn't really feel this way about his former wide receiver, does he?
Very impressed. Not surprised, but very impressed in terms of how he looks. He looks great. Very few can come off of an injury like that from a timing standpoint, especially that first year, and look the way he looks. So, but I'm not surprised. He's a heck of an athlete, and he works extremely hard.
How many seconds was that?
That was a 15-second clip.
All right, so that's 5 and 15.
No,
That's
a pretty good clip.
Yeah, that's a good clip from
It's good pace. Good pace there on Steph Diggs. Yeah, I mean, heaping on some praise on Mike Vrabel as well. I've got 30 seconds here if you want to take a stab at an over-under.
Mike Vrabel. All right, so if you were doing that clip, it would be 9.
Okay, well, hold on a second. I got your choice here, dealer's choice.
All right.
Mike Vrabel or Drake May?
Ooh. Now let's stick with Vrabel. 30 seconds. I'm going to put the over-under at 5.
Yeah, great coach. They've got a number of good coaches on that staff. A few we know rather well, and Mike's done a great job everywhere he's been. And it's funny going back over the years, coaching against him as he was playing in the Super Bowl in 2004. So just it's been interesting to watch his career, and certainly off to a great start there now in terms of getting that thing the way he wants to get it. And I've gone against Josh McDaniels for a number of years as well. So very, very talented roster. And a great coaching staff.
7.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, boy, we're pouring it on this week.
Yeah, he is pouring it on pretty thick. What about a second-year quarterback in Drake May? I mean, if he gave us 7 on Vrabel, what's he going to give us on the quarterback?
Give me the time.
This is 35 seconds.
35 seconds.
Will he maintain this clip? This is an unsustainable pace, Gino.
No, it's not. Like, McDermott is feeling it today.
He's feeling it today.
6, 7 jokes.
He is feeling it today.
6, 7 jokes. I'm going to say, well, if he did 7 for Vrabel, I'm going to say he's going to do 7 for Drake May.
Very impressed. Even last year, as a first-year player in our league, there's probably not much that he can't do. He can throw it, he can run it, he can scramble with it. They've got quarterback design runs. They certainly are off to a great start. He's off to a great start. I'm sure they feel good about him as an organization as well.
His accuracy, he leads the league in completion percentage.
Yeah, like I said, very effective. Josh McDaniels does a phenomenal job with every quarterback that I've seen him with, and so he's got a great coaching staff behind him and a great supporting cast around him.
Do you know how many that was?
That might be record breaking.
13.
Damn.
13.
Damn.
Boom, 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 boom.
Can we just say, like, we're going into this thinking, the Patriots, they're improved. The Patriots, we have to take them seriously. What if the Patriots still suck? Like, they were bad last year. Really, really bad. Now, they were kind of a rudderless ship with Mr. Mayo as their head coach.
Correct.
And a rookie quarterback, and I certainly would assume that Vrabel, at minimum, is the adult in the room that can kind of keep things in line. But I'm not impressed by Josh McDaniels.
They lost to the Steelers. You put up 14 points against the Steelers. You lost to the Raiders. You pulled one out of your butt against the Dolphins, and yay, you beat the Panthers. What are we doing?
What if it is that the Dolphins suck? What if this point spread is actually giving them too much credit? The point spread for the Bills last week maybe should be what the point spread for the Bills this week is.
The thing that makes me nervous about this game has nothing to do with the quarterback. It's Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel, those games in Tennessee, he'll put the 2 high safeties, and the Bills will just have to be patient. But that's the thing with Josh Allen. He's a different quarterback than when he was slipping on the 1-yard line in a Monday night game down in Tennessee. And also, let's point out, too, Tennessee came up here on a Monday night, and they got their doors blown off.
That's right.
So the Bills should be fine. This isn't a team that, hey, the Bills played a good game, but it just didn't go their way. That'll happen sometimes in the NFL. No. If both teams play to the max of their abilities, the Bills win this game.
And you got a healthier Bills team hitting the field, as we mentioned in your update, Gino. The only player not practicing in some sort of fashion today was linebacker Dorian Williams, who was dealing with a knee injury. And it's a knee injury that's been nagging him, dating back to the preseason. He was at training camp. He was missing time because of the need. If he hasn't looked good, maybe that's part of the reason why he hasn't looked good. He just hasn't been right. He hasn't been healthy. So you get to see Matt Milano back at practice in a limited fashion today. The return of Ed Oliver as well, Spencer Brown limited. However, none of the players eligible to return from IR had their practice window opened up. So still no Tyler Bass, still no Max Hairston.
Yeah, and I think we kind of knew that, right? Like Tyler Bass, I don't know what exactly that condition is. And for Max Harrison, we had some different opinions. Like this week we talked to Nate Geary from the Bills Radio Network on Monday, and he's suggesting like we don't see him at all. I'm of the opinion that if he's healthy, you don't need to load him up on too many plays. Like you're playing the Chiefs in the postseason, go cover the fast guy. It's not complicated, basically, but we're ways away from that.
We'll get to our buddy Fitz.
Yeah.
Fitzy's going to join us here. Nick Stevens from our Odyssey Sports sister station, WEEI. He's been very candid and real with us about the Patriots in years past. And, riding the wave of emotions that is being an NFL football fan, where your team one moment is hoisting a Lombardi and the next moment is one of the worst teams in the league. And that's what Patriots fans have endured here, not feeling sorry for them in all those Super Bowl titles and the years and years of dominance in the division. But Fitzy is a real one, and he'll give us the real scoop on this Patriots team coming in to Orchard Park. I'm curious to see if he's as bought in as I hear a lot of people on what this Patriots team looks like here 4 weeks through the season.
I'm going to guess he's really dialed in on the Red Sox. That's, for tonight here. The one thing that came out of McDermott's press conference, he made a 6'7" joke. Sean McDermott is more hip and cool than I am, and I didn't even know. And if you didn't, don't worry, okay? I didn't know 6'7" means so-so. That's the joke. Like from the generation before, where like you're making 69 jokes. Now,
nice.
6'7" never gets too old with danger.
Never.
6'7" just means but somehow it becomes a thing.
Yeah.
So that's all it means.
Yeah.
So?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and you do the hand gesture that goes with it. It's like, 6'7".
Now, there's a story of something that I didn't know before, and I need a ruling from you on that. Okay. And when I bring this up, you're going to be like, oh, I know this, and I didn't. Okay. So you see these things, whether it's online or a meme or whatever, they do rankings of colleges. Some are serious, U.S. World News and Report, or some other ones like best value for colleges or heaviest drinkers.
Biggest party school.
Biggest party schools, nicest campuses. So more than one person sent this to me last week, and I'll tell you what the topic is, but I'll first tell you the rankings, right? Number 5, Ohio State. Number 4 is BYU. Number 3 is Columbia. Number 2 is NYU. Number 1 is Fordham, where I went to.
Your alma mater.
Dude, we're never number 1 in anything. Our athletics suck. We're just, we're not Ivy League. It's a Bronx school. We all take pride in it from where we are.
Okay.
So I get home and I tell the ranking is per capita on campus, most performative males.
Most performative males per capita.
So I go home and I tell the executive producer this. I'm strutting. I'm like, oh my gosh, look at this. Here we are, number 1. She's like, that's not a good thing. And my daughter's right there. She's like, Dad, you don't want to be doing that. You don't know what a performative male. I didn't know what a performative male was. A performative male is something that the kids say today that, all right, you're going way out of your way to impress a lady. In other words, you're ordering the fake drink at Starbucks, you're putting the earbuds in, you're playing the guitar, whatever it is. You're not an authentic male. You are not someone to be trusted.
What does that... Okay, hold on a second. I'm a little confused now, which is... It's a fairly easy thing to confuse me, but I'm a little confused. So you're saying that if you're a guy who is trying too hard to impress the opposite sex, you're now labeled a performative male?
You're a performative male. Which, from my gritty campus in the Bronx, I'm like, there can't be anything.
Ohio State is on the list?
Ohio State is on the list, right? Like, who comes up with this stuff?
I don't know.
All right, so I'm like, okay, well, back in the 90s, that wasn't true. And then this is where the executive producer says, oh, no, this is absolutely true. So this is where I need your ruling. Was I exhibiting this behavior when I was younger? So
she's saying her knowledge is of Fordham guys, that this tracks. This is absolutely true. I understand why Fordham would be number one on the ranking of performative males in U.S. colleges.
So you're probably going to think much less of me when I tell you this. So this is my buddy Dennis, one of my best friends in the world.
Love
right?
Dennis.
Well, you met Dennis.
Yeah.
He came here, hung out, right?
Yeah.
I get to see him like maybe once or twice a year if I'm lucky, right?
Yeah.
And so Dennis is asking for a favor, and like he's one of those friends, you're going to do anything for him. Like, hey, can you cover for me Sunday night? Sure. What does he ask me to cover for? Reading. Doing the second reading at Mass. So Fordham is a Jesuit school, like McQuaid Jesuit, Catholic, okay? And Sunday night is the big Mass. So picture a big New York Gothic church. And why Sunday night? It's, well, because it's a heavy drinking school and everybody goes out the night before, but you still want to practice Catholicism. You go out Sunday night at 8 o'clock to Mass. And this is the big one, and this is the one everybody goes to, right?
This isn't a weekly thing. It's just a one-time-a-year Sunday night.
Well, a weekly Sunday night Mass
Okay.
is like how you would go to Mass, and most Masses are Sunday
morning, yeah.
Yeah, well, on this campus, it's Sunday night.
Gotcha.
Okay, no problem. Never did a reading before. Can't be that hard. So get up, do the second reading, blah. And this is the word of the Lord. Thanks. Okay,
This is while you're in school.
This is while I'm in school.
Gotcha.
Right? So funny thing happens that week, Danger. And you know me, I'm not, Mr. Suave, right? Like, funny thing happens is that I'm in class. I'm out at the bars the following weekend, and a few girls are talking to me that normally wouldn't even connect with. It's an icebreaker.
That you were reading at Mass.
That I was reading at Mass.
Mm-hmm.
And that I wasn't doing anything. I'm like, okay, maybe there's something to this. So I go back and I tell Dennis, like, hey, anytime you want me to fill in there, I'm happy to do that. I see. He's like, no. Like, he knows that works. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I go about this? And then all of a sudden,
I need to meet more girls. Please, can I read at Mass more frequently?
I get myself into the rotation.
Man, you should see what the tail that the altar boys pull. It's amazing at Fordham.
I am not, if there is an afterlife that's made for good people, I'm not going to be there, just so you know, all right? Getting up and reading, and it led to a couple dates for me. It actually worked.
Attaboy.
So, like, the executive producer is saying, no, that's performative behavior.
I don't understand. That's the part that confuses me. Why is that performative behavior? You're just doing something that was asked of you.
Yes, until I realized there was another benefit.
It wasn't like you were walking around saying, hey, I'm the guy that read at Mass. Can I get your number?
Yeah.
You were impressive. People noticed you, and you did impressive. See, this is what drives me crazy. Like, guys are capable of doing very impressive things, but I feel like a lot of times we get suppressed and we're not allowed to do these impressive things anymore. But we're shamed for doing some of the impressive things. And I'm not saying that reading at a Mass is something that, is that impressive, but it's not like something that should be a pejorative. It's not, that's good for you that you read at Mass, and good for you that people noticed that you read at Mass and did a good job reading at Mass. And now you got a couple of phone numbers.
Right. There's nothing wrong. See, thank you. And for years, this was always something that the executive producer held up, because I don't know, it's not something you say on the first day. It's not even something you say in the first year. It was some years down the road, some college story like, you know how Gene used to get, like, hey, it worked.
I'm still struggling with the label of performative males. So it's...
Go home and ask your daughters that. I'm stunned. Like,
no, this is not the audience to ask. I mean, you can get away with that conversation in your house. In my house, I will want to leave my home. I will want to move away. I will want to leave my family behind, because if I bring this up to them, they will unload on me, and it will make me resent my family. I can't do that. I'm not going to talk to them about performative males. I don't like, I don't want to hear the term mansplaining or anything like that. You know what I do, Gino? I just try to be a good listener. I just go home and I try to be a good listener. That's That's all I can really do. I'll listen. They don't really want to hear me talk. They just want to hear me listen. Like if I were to say what I just said, how reading in mass shouldn't be viewed as the act of a performative male, I don't understand that. Or if you're, what was the other thing? Somebody that learns how to play guitar or plays guitar.
Plays the guitar. Like the performative male, if you could picture the performative male, they're wearing clothes that.
What about a guy who can build stuff? Is that performative? A guy who can build things? A guy who can frame an expansion in your house, an extension to your house, or a guy that can pour concrete? Is that performative?
Or should guys just be, sitting around drinking beer and burping and watching sports?
Is performative another, way of saying toxic? Because that was the word that drove me crazy. When I heard toxic masculinity, I know that they're probably not the same thing, but I hear performative male, and I don't think that that's being viewed through the proper lens. I think that almost is viewed as a negative. And if being a performative male means you're doing things like reading at mass or building something.
All right, so here is what the definition is according to the AIs, right?
All right.
Okay. Performative male is a man who consciously curates an identity, image, or set of interest to appear likable and appealing, particularly to progressive women, but without genuine personal desire for those interests. This behavior is often criticized for perceived inauthenticity and manipulative nature.
Okay.
It also involves certain aesthetics, such as a tote bag or listening to indie music, as a strategy to gain validation and approval rather than a result of sincere preference.
Okay. So it's not exactly what I'm saying. It's what you described there as a hippie.
Sort of, but does it... For me, though, reading, but I have maybe an ulterior motive?
Yeah, that's tough. I'm trying to think of guys that I know that maybe fit that category, that description that you just laid out for me. And maybe that's why I'm kind of in the dark on what a performative male is. I don't think I know anybody who is like that or have known anybody that is like that. I'm trying to rack my brain through my jog my memory of anybody that I've been friends with or hung out with or been up and thought to myself, oh, that guy is a complete fraud, completely inauthentic.
Let's ask Moose when we talk to him next, because he's spent time in L.A. He probably was around a ton of these guys, right? We just don't have it here in Rochester.
Yeah,
so.
That's interesting. No, I feel like there probably are some people like that in Rochester. I'm just not friends with them. I wouldn't be
not
friends
in your
with them.
neighborhood with the Tony. And
No.
What are you, performative male? What the? Are you talking
You're right.
about? Yeah.
No, there's no such thing. And what does that even mean? I don't even know what that means. If you were to say, if a woman were to tell me, oh, that guy's a performative male, I wouldn't know what that means. I'd have to really, really see it in action. And I don't know that I've exposed myself to that in my life.
Our mutual friend Kevin calling me a big timer at Fordham. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah. Do we have a ranking on schools with the most the per capita amount of big timers? Fordham, one on the list. Performative male, synonymous with big timer.
The funny thing is, I would think me today, I'm not performing for anybody. I'm not dressing up. I'm not going to.
Well, Gino, every afternoon from 3 to 6, we do perform. I mean, technically, this is a performance every afternoon from 3 until 6. But yes, you are authentic in your beliefs. You are authentic in your convictions. You're not trying to change who you are to impress those around you.
866-4FAN, 866-4326. I'm not sure if she's trying to defend me or not. Linda from Webster. Hi, Linda.
Hello, friend. So this is the first time I've heard the term performative male, but I think the equivalent is when Danger says somebody's thirsty, okay? It's like a guy who's just being too thirsty for women, like too much cologne or just BSing that you can see right through. You can just pick it up with shovels. Those kind of guys.
Try hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like guys are trying way too hard. I remember, I'm going back some years, but I was at what is now Rome Cafe on Park Avenue, and it was something else then. And there was this guy, and, he's dressed nice, got the Oxford shirt, nice pants. And there's this girl there of his age, and he's just trying every which way to get her attention. And, she's, walking down the aisle. And he's, following her down the aisle and trying to talk to her. And it's like, so maybe we can go out Friday. Just trying way, way, way too hard. That guy, too thirsty. That's what that means.
Interesting. Thank you, Linda. I wonder now I'm questioning a lot of things. Is the guy who buys a girl a drink a performative male?
No.
Is the guy who buys so I rehashed a story when I was in Minnesota with my high school friends this last weekend from our reunion, our 20-year reunion, where I was at a restaurant and I saw some of my classmates who were also in town for the reunion enjoying a meal, and I bought their meal for them. Is that an act of a performative male?
No. Going to a yoga class, the effort of trying to meet a woman, is that performative?
No. Pilates.
Pilates.
Pilates may mean you're a performative male. Maybe that's the meridian there. Maybe that's the bar.
If you go to certain concerts, that's got to be or
so excited to go see the Indigo Girls.
Right, the what was it? The one with Sarah McLachlan.
The Lilith Fair.
Lilith Fair. I'm going to go to Lilith Fair.
Yeah.
Yes, honey, I'm going to go.
But I mean, that feels like from such a long time ago that I didn't even know that was still a thing. Those people, those kind of guys are still amongst us. I guess I don't hang out with those kind of guys. Maybe that's what it is. And if Linda wants to equate it to somebody being thirsty, I just, want to clarify my definition of thirsty is the person who is constantly bombarding your timeline with content, look at me content that doesn't really offer anything that's going to satiate your brain. It's like, sending out updates. Go Yanks. That does nothing for me.
Gen X reference. You probably know this song. Henry Rollins. Liar. Is that a performative male?
Henry Rollins?
You remember that video?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a deep pull, but.
No.
Yes.
He's just a guy. He's a man. I don't get it, man. I mean, we got McDermott giving 6'7" references. We got you talking about performance. I don't know. The world is passing me by. I need to catch up. Maybe I'm lost. Maybe we're lost, Cheeto.
See, I can walk back into the home, and you are the arbitrator. I can say, no, I am not today, and I wasn't back then a performative male. I was sharing the word of the Lord.
How about the movie Meet the Parents, right? Ben Stiller, Meet the Parents, and Owen Wilson is the fiance's ex-boyfriend. And do you know the movie? Have you seen the movie Meet the Parents with Robert De Niro? You have. I mean, it's never on. So, he's really crafty. He has a beautiful home. He built everything with his hands, and he's got everything going for him. But he's the ex of Ben Stiller's fiance. Is he a performative male? Maybe that's the guy that is the performative male. I don't know. I've never heard that phrase before. I can't believe that they would do a poll or a ranking on that. And furthermore, that Fordham would be number one. So what you're saying, Gino, is the school you went to graduates a lot of fraudulent guys.
That's it. I'm one of
Congratulations.
I'm one, oh gosh, the one thing we're number one in is this.
We're frauds.
And I thought performative male. Yes, absolutely.
If you let my mind wander, I think, that's just a guy who knows what he's doing. That's a performative male. That's where my mind goes. But, of course, you don't want to get inside my mind for too long at all. We've got some news and notes around the NFL to get to. We've got Fitzy joining us here in about a half an hour from WEEI in Boston. The Browns heard us. They've been listening to the sports bar. When we ask, what the hell are you waiting for? They have benched Joe Flacco in favor of Dylan Gabriel, but it's the actions of their third-string quarterback that have some people talking today. We'll get into what's going on. And then we've also got some Major League Baseball postseason action to update you on.
Yeah, this is odd. The Padres have already gone to their bullpen. Okay. Like I thought Dylan Cease was pitching well. Padres are up 1-0 there in the fourth. Guardians force a game 3. 6-1 was the final.
Very good. All right, we'll get to Gene's update, and we'll have more from the NFL next. Fitzy joining us at the top of the hour. Your call's always welcome at 866-4FAN, 866-4326.
You're listening to the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia. Rochester Sports Update.
Players coming back to practice today, although on a limited basis. Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, Spencer Brown, and also limited today was tight end Jackson Hawes. Dorian Williams, the only player to sit out practice today. Head coach Sean McDermott on what he's seeing from Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs.
Very impressed. Not surprised, but very impressed in terms of how he looks. He looks great. Very few can come off of an injury like that from a timing standpoint, especially that first year, and look the way he looks. So, but I'm not surprised. He's a heck of an athlete, and he works extremely hard.
Guardians force a Game 3 against the Tigers. 6-1 the final today. Padres are up on the Cubs 1-0. They're in the top of the fifth. The Yankees send out Carlos Rodon with their season on the line tonight. They need to win tonight and tomorrow against the Boston Red Sox. Gene Battaglin, sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
Neat or on the rocks? It's the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on the Sports Leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
I would love to play you sound from the Cleveland Browns locker room from today. Shedeur Sanders being interviewed. Unfortunately, Sanders did a pantomime while he was answering his questions.
If an athlete says not today or no, you
have the right as an athlete to say.
You have the right, but you're telling me he went ahead and then purposely every question that came his way. In other words, I should be the next man up. But
he didn't say anything. He was just mouthing his answers without using words. He was doing a full-blown pantomime with the media asking him questions. And I think just in that action alone, you now understand why he went in the fifth round, why he is third on that depth chart. This is not high school football anymore. This is not college football. You're a professional now. You're a professional football player. You could say no. You could just say no, not today.
Not today, guys.
That you could absolutely say that was within his right to do that. Instead, he makes a spectacle. And making a spectacle, why? He's stuck on this depth chart for a reason, and I think maturity is probably the number one reason why. You might as well, if you're going to do it, just put the makeup on, and you're a clown. You're an absolute clown. You're doing the act of a mime. Go ahead and put on the makeup and be the clown that you are.
Is there anything more annoying than a mime, though?
When was the last time you saw a mime? I haven't seen a mime in some time.
No, it's always a mime. Yeah, not in person, but like the mime that's pulling a car.
Yeah. Oh, wow, you're stuck in a box again. How are you going to get out? Oh, you're going to step out of it. Okay. Great job, you clown. What? So Dylan Gabriel will get the start against the Vikings. Not and overseas, too, by the way. Not an ideal spot to start the rookie. And the thing about all of this is, Gino, I think even through these antics, at some point we're going to see Shedeur. At some point this season, Shedeur is going to get run. And, man, I hope I'm wrong, because I think the NFL would be fun with Shedeur Sanders having a relevant role with the team. But he might just be, because of his immaturity, he might just be a career backup, if that.
It's going to end quickly for him. Like, daddy can only get you so many opportunities in this league. He's not going to save you. He's not going to pick up the phone and say, start my son. Who just hit a home run?
Machado just went yard.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, 3-0 Padres.
Yeah.
That's not looking good for your Cubbies. Sorry. You've maintained great focus today. I just want to point that out. As far as the Browns, this is going according to my bold prediction. No, what, Dylan Gabriel being bold? No. Hang on. Bold prediction being we're going to go through this timeline of, okay, there's Flacco, and we're going to get to rookie number 1. That's not going to go so good. We're going to get to rookie number 2. That's not going to go so good. And eventually we're going to get to the month of December. And it's
the guy that you're actually paying.
And you're going to feel obligated. You're paying that much. And that would be the horror of horrors. Deshaun Watson will do enough. He'll look the best of the bunch. And then the owner's going to say, you know what? Let's try this again since we're paying him so much. He just wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, what a mess. They get the day started on Sunday from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, taking on the Vikings, who have to have an advantage being that they've been on European time now for a couple of weeks.
That's a huge advantage. We saw that with the Jaguars the one year, staying out there the extra week. We're going to remember the Bills. Well, we're going to bank time. We have science. And then,
didn't really work in their favor, unless they weren't following it at all. A couple of other notes from around the NFL. Good news for the Commanders is Jaden Daniels has been medically cleared. He's practicing today. They take on the Chargers in L.A. on Sunday. That's an interesting matchup with Daniels back behind center. The Cardinals can't get a break in their backfield. Trey Benson has been put on injured reserve. He'll miss at least the next 4 weeks. They lost James Conner earlier this season for the season with an ankle injury as well. And speaking of the Vikings and overseas games, I don't know if you saw this, Gino. The NFL Network generated the second biggest audience ever for an international game on their network with that Vikings-Steelers matchup. 7.9 million watched that game on Sunday morning from Dublin.
We just love football. We love football.
Where does 7.9 million put that game against the highest-rated games for the NBA or Major League Baseball? I'm just trying to think of like what that ballpark is and how the NFL can continue to flex their gigantic muscle when it comes to a made-for-TV product that all of these leagues are gunning for.
So the outdoor game was at the Horseshoe last year. It was, I vaguely remember this, Blue Jackets and Red Wings. That's kind of the signature event. You want to take a guess? I mean, in terms of just not a rating, just number that tuned in.
2.7.
Oh, you're too generous. 1.6.
God.
1.6. And that's the best the NHL did last year.
That's the best.
Yeah.
That was the highest rated game.
Yeah.
But that rated higher than anything they did for the Stanley Cup.
Right.
Sad.
This is how busy we are. That's all it is.
Sad.
Yeah.
I imagine the NBA probably doesn't scratch 7.9 million for some of their games, their special events. That's impressive. 7.9 million watching Vikings Steelers. I don't know the Vikings Browns will get as many eyeballs, but yeah, we'll get up on a Sunday morning to watch some NFL football. I'm making chili to bring over to my buddy's house to watch football on a Sunday morning. Yeah, we're in. I'm in.
Is Buddy a Viking fan, a Brown fan, or is he?
He's a football fan.
Just a football fan.
He's a football fan. It's a reason for the boys to get together, get up early, have a couple of pre-noon pops, and maybe some chili later on. Yeah,
I will be in Webster 1 o'clock with Billy Kidd, so we'll be watching all the 1 o'clock games. And
very good.
I'm moseying out to Buffalo after that. I don't know if you saw this or not. Okay, there's a lot to second guess from the Yankee game last night. Ton of things you can second guess. Aaron Boone, what are you doing there with your starting pitcher? Okay, he was at 102 pitches. He's still dealing. Keep him in there.
You would think.
You would think. Also, hey, you're two regulars. You didn't start here. They didn't get eliminated last night. Nonetheless, Stephen A. Smith this morning called for Aaron Boone to be fired.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think people will disagree with him. No. If it goes badly, if they lose tonight, and they're bounced by the Red Sox,
that's your rival.
Is that the thing? Is that what finally does Boone in? And I would also say be careful what you wish for, because I know that there's a lot of managers that are out there. There's good managers that are out there, but it feels like that guy's just attached. He's tethered to this regime, and I don't think it's going to change.
We grew up in an era where the manager was the showman, right? Earl Weaver, Sparky Anderson, Billy Martin, for crying out loud. No, you don't need any of that. The focus should be on the players on the field. But what I think has been lost is what the manager should be, just like any other manager. You're managing people. And when you don't start Jazz Chisholm and you don't start Ben Rice, why? Because the book says this? No, you have to go with the guys who brought you there. Same thing with Fried. That's your number one guy. You're in control of this game. You pitch him until he shows you there's an issue. What was the issue last night?
Didn't see one.
No, just like, oh, he's at this magic mythical number.
Yeah, I always say it's science and soul, right? You can have the numbers, you can have the data, you can have the analytics, you can have all of that, but in the moment you have to know my guy isn't going to let me down here. You didn't get the sense that Crochet was going to blow anything last night. He was dealing. He was going to keep dealing. He went past 100 pitches, and they didn't even think twice. Just get out there and go. And his strongest pitch was his last. That he left it all out there, and I think any competitor, whether you're Crochet or Fried or whoever, you want the ball and you want to be out there.
Also, how many other managers would have been like, okay, Chapman loading the bases in the ninth, get him out of here. The analytics might have said that, Danger. Especially you're facing Stanton, and there's Chapman dealing from the other side. That probably wasn't a good matchup. Chapman's been the guy in Boston. He went more than a month without allowing a run. It's the weirdest comeback, is it not? Like, we left this guy for dead in Pittsburgh, and there he was dealing last night. And how many managers would be like, yeah, you know what, get him out of here. Let's try somebody else. And yeah, his manager showed faith and got him out of it, and they win game one.
The lack of ability in the ninth inning to even produce a run with the bases loaded and no outs. Look, Yankee fans, I get why you're angry. I watched more Yankee baseball this year than I've ever watched. And granted, I don't watch every game, and I know some of you do, so I'm not going to pretend to know everything there is to know about Yankee baseball. But I can tell you that the games that I did watch, I now understand why Yankee fans are the angry lot that they come off to be, because this team is maddening. It is maddening to watch what they are, what they do, and how they find themselves in these situations.
There's a name out there, and I think there's a clue that this guy isn't done. So we don't talk San Francisco Giants baseball here. Like there's a few interested, but what they did was 500 season, they fired their manager, Bob Melvin. Happens, a lot of firings, right? Buster Posey is running the show there, the former catcher. Today, he was asked, hey, there's a guy out there that won 3 World Series here. Would you bring him back? And Posey answered the question this way. You would think, oh, he's
talking
retired.
about Bochy.
Yeah, Bochy. The door's always open here for some sort of role, but I don't see us going that way with Bosch. Okay. Wouldn't that imply that Bruce Bochy isn't done at 70 years old? If, like, your favorite team, let's say, hey, the Yankees do need a move. Or, like, that tells me that Bochy isn't just going to get bounced upstairs, that he's going to be actually somewhere else. Bochy won a World Series with the Texas Rangers, for crying out loud, 2 years ago. He's an excellent manager. These guys bounce around. That's somebody you got to consider, I would think.
Yeah, but at that age, I know that ageism isn't supposed to be a thing, but I think ageism is absolutely a thing.
Well, it's funny. Like, he's an old 70. Like, when you see him walk out and, I don't know, I think he, how many Marlboros of those does he choke down a day? There, Bochy's like, he's of a different era.
He's an old school manager.
Absolutely.
Absolutely an old school manager. Who else got let go? Snick got let go in Atlanta. Saw that.
Yeah, press conference. He's kind of welling up today. Like, he's been with that organization over 40 years.
Yeah.
And, I mean, they weren't good. I mean, the one, who was the pitcher? Was it Schwellenbach? One of the pitchers got hurt and nobody picked up on it on the bench. That was fireable. So,
right.
Yeah, they not a good year in Atlanta.
So we'll keep you updated on Cubs-Padres, with the Padres now a 3-0 lead, bottom of the 5th. And, of course, Yankees-Red Sox, Game 2 tonight with the Red Sox and a chance to advance to the divisional series. We will go to Boston here in just a couple minutes. Check in with our guy, Nick Fitzy Stevens from WEEI, our Odyssey Sports sister station.
We're screwed in Rochester.
Why is that?
Okay, so the Nationals have a new president. His name's Paul Taboni, right? Okay, great.
Hey!
Paul Taboni, right?
Hey! Of course the Nationals hired Paul Taboni. Oh, yeah.
Paul Taboni is saying all the right things in terms of building up the farm system. Hey, this is where antennas should go up, right? Let me read you the quote, Danger. We need to create a really robust scouting and player development
God,
and R&D process.
I hate Robust. So
And we've built a foundation of talent like that, we're going to have a really good shot. That's where it all starts. If you use the word robust, you're a performative male. You really, no one talks like that.
I've been on some Zoom calls with lots of performative males. Now that you mention it, Chino, I think we work with a lot of performative males.
Yeah, like half of programming managers. I'm looking at one.
Stop it.
Robust.
Oh, well. If we really get granular and looking at our roster, we'll build it up and be robust. We just don't know if Dan Mason has the bandwidth there as the general manager. Stop with bandwidth and robust and granular.
The one thing the Red Wings and the Nats have, they're both bad, so they have this synergy.
Oh, shoot! You said synergy. I could have used that last game on my bingo card.
This guy Taboni's 35. Hey, there's a lot of guys that are young, but
yeah, I'm 35. I'm 35 and I'm Italian. What you want, huh? You want a robust team in Rochester? I'll get that for you, because I'm Italian. I'm waiting for the phone to ring from somebody in my family to be like, all right, come on. You can stop with that now.
Or just anybody in general. If somebody were, somebody who's tuning into this station because they listen every Sunday morning to Joe Capagreca.
Yeah.
Hey, what is these guys in the afternoon?
Hey.
Who do they think they are?
No. Hey. Well, that's exciting news for the Nationals. New GM, and he wants to build up the farm system.
Robust.
Make it robust. Okay. Let's take a break. Take a deep breath. We're going to need we're not going to need more energy because Fitzy brings it when he comes into the sports bar.
Are we going to be thinking the Patriots have a shot when we're done talking to Fitzy here? Or when you normally last few years we're talking to him, he will just goof on this team?
He knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Last season, they were a joke. There are plenty of people that have seen what the Patriots have done through 4 weeks that believe that there's something brewing here. And maybe there is, but can it happen against the Bills on Sunday night? We'll learn more about the Patriots. We'll also get a little preview of Sox Yankees tonight. From Fitzy, Nick Stevens from WEEI, our Odyssey Sports sister station, joining us next in the Sports Bar on the Fan Rochester.
95.7 FM and AM 950. The Fan, Rochester. An Odyssey sports station. The Fan, Rochester. Sports update.
Bills are getting healthier. Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, and Spencer Brown back at practice today. Also limited today, Jackson Hawes, Dorian Williams, the only Bill not to practice. Talking about that Patriot defense, here's quarterback Josh Allen.
Yeah, a lot of difference, a lot of turnover. They went out in free agency and got quite a few guys that, we've played in the past, and again, it's more about the culture that they're instilling there. And Coach Frable, I got a lot of respect for him, and I know our players have a lot of respect for him as well. So it's going to be a really good coached football team.
The Guardians stay alive. They get a 6-1 win over Detroit. Game 3 will be tomorrow. Good start for the Padres, top of 6. San Diego leading at Wrigley 3-0. The Yankees have to win tonight to stay alive. Carlos Rodon taking the mound against the Red Sox. That's at 6:08. Gene Battaglia, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
It's time to start the show and talk about the sports we saw. Inside jokes and takes from Danger and Battaglia. Bills and the Sabres and the Amherst. Who gave a microphone to these jerks? Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. Welcome to the sports bar, that's where you are. With Danger and Battaglia.
Happy hour on The Fan Rochester. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube at The Fan Rochester, our channel there. Also in the Odyssey, iHeartRadio, TuneIn apps. And if you're driving around Rochester at 95.7 FM and AM 950, you taking a few minutes out of your day to join us when we know how many options you have for your sports information and entertainment is humbling. We don't take it for granted. As my co-host, Gene Battaglia, noted the first second he saw me today, what are you going to wear your Cubs hat every day? Gino, I'm not superstitious. You're superstitious. How dare you?
I just wanted to point that out, buddy. And I will also say that you're more professional than I am, because this time last year, seeing that it was first against the Braves and then the Brewers and these games that would run into our show, I'm not really paying that. You, for the most part, have been on. And today, not going so well. You've had your eye on the ball here on the show today, and I just want to commend you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yeah, we had a little early fumble in yesterday's show because I was paying too close attention to the Cubs and Padres there in Game 1, and because we had the outcome that we had yesterday with me wearing the ball cap, I'm like, I'll go ball cap again 2 days in a row. Let's see if we can close this thing out. It ain't looking good right now for my Cubbies, but we'll continue to keep you updated on that. And, of course, we've got Yankees Red Sox coming up here a little bit as well. And one of our favorites is set to join us here when he dials in from Boston in our Odyssey Sports sister station, WEEI. We're going to be joined by Nick Fitzy Stevens to talk a little bit about that series and, of course, about the Patriots coming into Orchard Park on Sunday night.
There was one thing P.J. Glasser said today I don't necessarily agree with him on. He said whoever comes out of Yankees Red Sox is going to the World Series. I'm like, whoa. Well, wait a second. You got to get through Toronto and then presumably Seattle. And no offense to Cleveland or Detroit or whoever, I think Seattle is legit. And in fact, if I had to pick a team, I'm going chalk. I'm saying it's the Mariners finally getting to their first World Series. That's a tough path. I think, though, whoever wins Yankees Red Sox, would you like their chances against the Blue Jays?
Yeah.
The answer is yeah.
Yes.
I don't like the way the Blue Jays finished up.
I'm with you on that. I think the Blue Jays have been struggling ever since Bichette has been out. He was always the straw that stirred the drink, and the way they limped down the stretch and made it a little bit of a race there, you can kind of see that they weren't playing their best baseball at the right time. Do we have Fitzy joining us now in the sports bar?
We do.
It's our guy.
Yeah, busy day in New England, busy week. Fitzy, thank you, buddy. How are you?
Oh, could you guys smell the insufferability in the air because the Sox are back in Sunday? The Pats are coming for the crown again.
Here we go.
Here we go. Held the last 5
All right.
years.
We're
Let's
back.
go.
We're back, baby. All right.
Oh, my God. I can't stand myself. We're so bad.
Before we talk about Sunday night, let's go back and look at last night because it feels like there was two different schools of management there when you talk about how Cora dealt with his ace and how Boone dealt with his. And I think ultimately that's what led to the Sox getting the advantage.
Oh, 100%. You had legendary, we call Alex Cora a hunch and gut manager because he plays the hunches, he trusts his gut, and analytics be damned in the right moments. And he just seems to always spin the dial beautifully, and he has the full-blown trust of all of Red Sox Nation, and it was on display last night as the War Pig was on the mound, absolutely just decimating the hopes of Yankee Nation. And there was Aaron Boone, or as I like to call him, Timu Alex Cora, just crapping all over himself, taking out Max Fried too early, putting in the righty, which, freed up the legend of Masataka Yoshida to come in and do his thing. And then Aroldis Chapman, the only person that was sweating more than that guy was during that 3 guys on base 9th inning was me, as I was rifling through fingernails, nitro pills, and Narragansetts in the fridge. But we got the job done, baby. And let's finish them off. Can we just be done with the Yankees? Would the Red Sox not be doing, Western New York, New England, all of America, planet Earth, a service if we just eliminated the Yankees and Aaron Judge and all the gabagools in right field tonight once and for all?
Before we look ahead,
it's like just like a baseball-filled episode of The Sopranos that should have been left on the cutting room floor. Like, let's just be done with this and move on.
Maybe they're gonna invite the 2 guys back that tried to rip the ball out of Betts last year. Maybe you'll have that home field advantage tonight for the Yankees. Fitzy,
where's Jeffrey Mayer when we need him? Remember that knucklehead, the kid that jumped over the wall and took it from the Baltimore Oriole guy 29 years ago?
What happened to Chapman? When did he regain his form? I remember him with the Pirates barely hanging on here and doing inappropriate things. And can you explain to all of us who really we've watched here and there, but we haven't been watching Red Sox baseball that closely? Like, how did Chapman get this back?
I mean, there's 3 logical explanations. One is that the Red Sox backup catcher, who's the last remaining vestige of the Mookie Betts trade, a.k.a. the worst trade in the history of all professional sports, Connor Wong, taught him this spring, and I kid you not, he literally taught him, he's like, hey, you can throw your fastball to different parts of the plate. And he was like, I can? This is not a joke. This actually happened. He's like, I thought I'd just throw the fastball. And he's like, no, you can throw it with 2 fingers or 4, 2 seams or 4 seams. There's all kinds of fastballs. We got fried shrimp. We got shrimp creole, shrimp etouffee. So I kid you not. So there's probably that. 2, he started doing like the Batman training montage workout where like all the guy does is pulls tires and does like pull-ups, and he is absolutely shredded right now as well. So he's in much better shape. And 3, the unbased one, which I have no actual information behind, performance-enhancing drugs. So I'll go with the first. I'll go with the first 2.
Fitzy joining us in the sports bar from WEEI, our Odyssey Sports sister station in Boston, in advance of tonight's game 2 of the Wild Card Series in the Bronx. And, of course, Sunday night, Fitzy, we've got New England coming in. The Bills are wearing their Nike rivalry uniforms. I mean, I know that gives them such an advantage. But we've talked to you, and you've always been forthright in your evaluation of the Patriots, good or bad. And there's a lot of people talking about this team this year, and that, look, you're 2-2. You've got Vrabel. You've got an adult in the room who seems to be steering the ship in the right direction. You've got Drake May, who a lot of people believe is the dude. Tell me about the Patriots so far in 2025.
Well, first, let's take a quick moment to just, pay due respect to those uniforms the Bills are going to be wearing Sunday night when you guys are going to come out looking like the White Walkers who just climbed over the wall in Game of Thrones. Those iced out rivalry uniforms with the silver numbers and the silver buffalo on top. Oh God, those are, I gotta be honest, I clamor for and love up on all things Patriots in New England, but those things take me 6 to midnight uniform style. Those are gorgeous. That said, that'll be the only gorgeous thing on the field Sunday night because the Pats are coming for it. No, I'm just trying to type myself up here. Look, Josh Allen, he's literally the best player. We talked to Adam Schefter on the radio earlier today, Bragg, and Shefty said, the best football player on planet Earth for the past year plus is Josh Allen. And until somebody can knock him off or until somebody can come into his house, which the Pats almost did last December, which I believe is the last time we spoke, then he continues to get to wear the crown. Look, I mean, the guy's playing out of his mind. He's doing everything right from the audibles to the play calls, passing the ball, running the ball. He somehow gets handsomer by the day. He married one of my 5 favorite actresses. Like, Josh Allen has the only thing he doesn't do is fight Lex Luthor in Metropolis. The guy is an absolute Superman, and you guys deserve all the riches. That said, in comes Sunday night the Wegmans store brand version of Josh Allen, Drake May, who is playing football at an insanely high level right now. Like, everybody is going gaga for Drake May. Like, he's got the third highest EPA, his CPOE, which all these things which sound like something you suffer from, that there's a Fox News ad running for, to get a prescription to survive from. All these advanced analytics everyone's freaking out about, Drake May's delivering on. And, he's completing 75% of his passes. He's running well. The offense, with your old pal Steph Diggs in the house, who I know is going to be hell-bent for revenge on Sunday night, leads me to think that this one should be pretty close, guys. Mike Vrabel's got the team organized and competent, like you said, and we actually have a pretty solid defense with the top 5 corner in Gonzo, who just came back last week and looks pretty good. Pretty good.
We have a complicated relationship with Diggs. We recognize that Allen wouldn't be Allen had not Diggs showed up, and there were some magical years. There was a very awkward, bad ending for Diggs in Buffalo, and now he's on his second organization since being here. Look, we've seen pictures here of him on the boat, and let's just ask you the question this way: how has it gone for Diggs so far? Are you still in a honeymoon phase there? Because eventually it might not be.
Oh, yeah. Somehow the New England Patriots organization and Pats fans know that he is the insanely hot girl that has cheated on and robbed all of her previous boyfriends. And we have convinced ourselves, like, no way. She didn't ask for my PIN on my ATM card because she's going to take all my money. She just wants to go buy dinner for us. She wants to hook us up with DoorDash. She's the best. We are in the crazy hot girlfriend, give you whatever you want phase with Steph Diggs. And it's starting to show and pay dividends because last week he had his first 100-yard game. Now, granted, they were playing the UFL affiliate, always known as the Carolina Panthers, but Diggs is getting healthy. Diggs is getting better. And as we've seen, wherever Steph Diggs goes, obviously he eventually unlocks that quarterback, helps them realize the full potential of their superpowers, and then eventually kind of goes left eye lopes and burns your house to the ground. So right now we're still in the honeymoon phase, and he looks good. And, he's only 10 and a half months removed from that ACL surgery. And he's definitely like a key component on this offense, which, by the way, these offenses are ultimately similar. Like, does either of these teams right now have a 1A, an alpha true superstar for a wide receiver? I mean, I guess the closest is Shakir or Coleman, but wouldn't you say that both of these offenses operate with like a comportment of like complementary guys that make the whole thing function?
The everybody eats mentality, right? I mean, that was where I was going to go with you next, right? I mean, like, I think about a vulnerability of the Bills' defense, and I think you can run the football on them. We've seen it time and time again. It hasn't really changed much from last season when you were able to run the football against the Buffalo Bills. This season has gone the same way, and you've got a two-headed monster. I was going to ask you about Stevenson and about the rookie Henderson, because you got two guys back there that offer different. That speed of Henderson is a sight. And, take away the fumbling issues that we've had with Ramondre, you've got a pretty good two-headed backfield there if you're talking about everybody getting a slice of the pie.
Yeah, I mean, take away the fumbling issue. That's like, oh, man, Uncle Ted is the most fun. Take away the fact that he gets drunk and passes out at the Thanksgiving dinner table every year. He's the best. Yeah, think of the fact that he starts fist fights every time we go out to a bar. Aside from that, he's the best guy. Buys the first round. He kicks ass at pool and darts. No, look, Henderson's good. He still has not, we're not seeing the Travion Henderson that just lit up college football last year and averaged 8 yards a carry and had 1,200 yards in 10 games. Ramondre Stevenson's great. He's really Ramondre the Giant, as we call him. He looks good. He does a little bit of everything. But it's as simple as this. God, football is so incredible, and it's so nuanced and so detailed, but it's also so predictable, repeatable, and boring. When whoever controls the trenches usually controls the game. And then if whoever doesn't turn the ball over usually wins as well. The Patriots are 2-0 in the games when they don't turn the ball over this year, and they're 0-2 when they do turn the ball over this year. So if you guys can confuse Drake early on, have him lead one into coverage, that gets the job done. If they don't turn the ball over, and it's Josh who errantly sails one into the hands of Gonzo or the 5 nameless safeties that Mike Vrabel brought with him from Tennessee, maybe we're singing a different song on Sunday night. I'll tell you who I love. I know he's a tough one, and I know he got paid this offseason, and he did the whole Instagram wash, and then it was the JK, I love you guys. But James Cook is the real deal, man.
Yeah.
Like, he's awesome. Like, he's the guy I would be more concerned about than Keon Coleman or Khalil Shakir or Josh Palmer and the rest of the guys. Man, he is what's he averaging, like 120 yards from scrimmage a game and scoring at least like a touchdown per? He's freaking dynamite.
Want to ask you about Belichick, but first, wrapping up the Patriots here. I mean, is the expectation playoffs for this team?
No. I think playoffs. Come on, guys, come on. We had so much for so long. We're still in the give everyone else a chance to enjoy the playoffs phase. Pats will be back in a year or two. And a realistic expectation for the season, to me, is knowing, A, you got your dude for the future in Drake May, and that's already proving out now. And that the ship has turned around because Belichick drove the ship into the wrong canal, and then Gerard Mayo banged it off the side of all the canal walls for 17 straight games last year. And now Vrabel has showed up, and he's like, holy S, what a mess you guys made. Fine, I'll fire everybody. I'll take the wheel myself, and we'll figure out how to get it out of here. If by the end of the season, Vrabel has taken control, pointed the ship in the right direction, and gotten it out of the canal, that's all you can ask for. A 9-win season at most would be spectacular. We'll talk maybe in a few weeks if we have to alter our projections and our hopes for the season, if more teams like the Ravens and the Bengals and other teams that most of us had chalked up an L for to the Pats continue to shoot themselves in the junk the way they have been, and maybe things will be different. But show up Sunday night in Buffalo, prove you belong on the same field as the Bills. It'll be a moral victory Monday on WEEI.
Well, I was going to ask you, if the Patriots upset the Bills on Sunday, does your tune change? Do you believe then that the Patriots are a playoff team this season?
Oh, absolutely. And we will absolutely come into if we win on Sunday and the Patriots can ride into there and defeat all of you hot sauce covered ogres at Helm's Deep, then by all means, absolutely. All the projections change and the dominance is back. And we'll be putting up billboards outside of your friggin' stadium this December for a change. Come on. I'll say this. I think a lot of Pats, I'm not offering this for fan services or because I love talking to you guys. If there was one team aside from the Pats, and I don't think most Pats fans are deluding themselves into thinking the Patriots are, going to Santa Clara in February. But if there was one team I think people would be like happy to see win, there's a lot of love for Josh Allen around here. There's a deep, profound appreciation for just how good he is at football, just what a good dude he is. Like, how could you not watch Hard Knocks and watch what he means to your community, watching him, taking care of people with special needs, giving out Ryder Cup tickets and everything. Like, my God, I was sobbing like I was watching the end of The Notebook and Marley and Me myself watching the freaking show. Not that I want to admit that on the radio. So, good for you guys. But
you're converting.
Right?
You're converting. It doesn't work with your audience, but I think you like it.
I have to call a radio station 700 miles from mine just to actually let everybody know I've got a Josh Allen man crush, and I'm proud of it.
Last one.
I'm not ashamed to say I'm a Josh Allen fan. God damn it.
Fitzy, our guest here in the Sports Bar, WEEI Afternoons. Last one for me, Fitzy, and I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about Belichick, who actually comes right down the road from us end of the month here in Syracuse. Can't wait for that. Tarnished his legacy. Where does the story go from here? Do you think this is a one and done in North Carolina?
Holy smokes. What is going on? I can't tell you how many times people have just been like, hey, do you guys want to call? Like, Grandpa escaped the house and he's walking down the street with a bathrobe that's undone and he's not got any underwear on. Do we want to just get him back at the house? Like, he has absolutely, oh my God. I mean, all the warning signs were there the last couple of years with the Patriots too. Like the fact that, child bride Jordan was at all of the games wearing red pants so he could spot her out in the stands. She's just such a freaking whole thing herself. I call her, every time you see her at these UNC games and she shows up on the sidelines wearing the same boots that Trinity wore in The Matrix with those freaking Little Mermaid sparkle pants. Like, Bill, is this a long play? Like, if this is an episode, if there's like blink twice if you need us to storm the house and like free you, Belichick. Right. If this is not an episode, like if we're going to see like Saul Volcano and the rest of the Impractical Jokers standing behind like a folding table filming all of this, then I would understand. But it's a disaster. Like we are now well beyond the Michael Jordan on the Wizards portion of Bill Belichick's coaching career. I mean, the team stinks. He's on the butt end of everyone else's jokes. I mean, he has to go. He has to pay for all of her candy at the CVS because no one will allow her to use an Apple Pay because she looks too young. I mean, it's a clown show, and it's like, and they're like, oh my God, I should have seen the warning signs. He installed Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator 3 years ago, and he ruined Mac Jones. We should have taken the keys away and made him take Ubers from now on. Then the following year, he stopped talking to Mac Jones. Okay, that's absolutely. I know he stopped talking to Gerard Mayo as well. He just made an absolute mess of everything, and it's kind of sad. But I have to be honest. Like, we're all stuck in traffic anyways, so I'm just going to stare out the left side of the car window and just look at the truck, the truck burning on the other side of the road for as long as I'm in traffic. What a mess! And you guys must love it. By the way, you guys must just absolutely love it.
I've been saying all along that if you were going to, put, the crown on somebody from the Patriots dynasty, that it would be Brady. For me, it would be Brady because you saw what Brady did when he left New England, and he kind of replicated that success in Tampa, whereas Belichick did the exact opposite when Brady left, and he kind of fell apart. And I know that he's going to be held in high regard for all of the rings and all of the titles, and he'll be viewed as one of, if not the best head coach of all time. But I can't give him that crown given what he's been without Tom Brady behind center.
Yeah, I know. I mean, just all the memes and jokes that busted out on social media when they lost to TCU like 10,000 to 14 or whatever on that Monday night of Labor Day weekend. Only Brady can save him now. But Brady's obviously doing great and all. But if somebody would have told me 5.5 years ago that the greatest dynasty, the greatest triumvirate of player, coach, and owner in history, that in 2025, one would be continually whitewashing history to get people to think that he had more to do with it than anyone else. One would be dating a 23-year-old coaching a college football program more known for their basketball, and the other one would be starting a flag football league in Saudi Arabia. I would have told you to shut your lying lie hole and give me my reality back.
Fitzy, which you can hear inside the Odyssey app, WEEI. For our audience, if you want more talk, about just more Fitzy, tell everybody about the show. Normally, what time you're on?
Appreciate you boys very much. Always a pleasure hanging out in the sports bar. 2 to 6 most weekdays, except when the Red Sox are on the radio playing the Yanks in the playoffs. 2 to 6 every day, 93.7 FM WEEI in Boston. And, of course, you can always listen on the Odyssey app or check out Six Rings and Football Things, our Patriot-centric podcast. And, yes, audience, I understand the show will likely not be changing its name anytime soon. Good luck to you.
Fitzy, take care, man. Let's do it again soon.
You guys, too. Be well. Go Pats.
There he is. Fitzy from WEEI, stopping by the sports bar during happy hour. Did we not set that up? Did we not tell you exactly what to expect? The guy's the best.
I'm in tears.
We need the Dandalorian tomorrow to go in and create a greatest hits because Fitzy gave us one after the other after the other.
There's multiple takes of the year inside of all that. Like, can you picture Bill Belichick in a bathrobe, just kind of, that's
walking outside, lost, bathrobe unsecured. Yeah. Like, what are we doing? Get Grandpa home. Somebody.
Jordan Hudson, a child bride.
The boots that Trinity wore in The Matrix with her little mermaid costume. What are we doing? Oh, God.
Honestly, all I had to say was Bill Belichick, go. Go. Think about that. You are like, anybody can ruin their legacy.
Yeah.
That's really
no self-awareness.
None.
No self-awareness whatsoever. And maybe that's part of that is just the alien culture, the alien mentality, the idea that you've achieved what you've achieved, you've made this ungodly amount of money, and you're living the life the way you want to live your life, and nothing else matters.
So, okay, if he just said, you know what, I'm done, and he's running around Fitzy's words, with his child bride and Nantucket, but he's not coaching. We don't care, right? It's your life. Go live it, whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
The arrogance that I can just show up in college and just I thought I would never say this. I want Dabo Sweeney to win this week.
Wow.
I want that guy.
Wow.
And you know what? Clemson's going to clock him.
I feel vindicated in that it's become harder and harder with each passing day for people to say that he is the greatest head coach of all time. I'll listen to the rings. I'll listen to the championships. You can't take any of that away from him, except they all came with 12 behind center. And before 12 got there, he was mediocre at best. And since 12 left, he's been less than average, below average, far below average as a head coach. So, I think there are more worthy names if you're going to mention greatest head coach of all time before you mention Bill Belichick. Given what we've seen now, everything that's gone on,
Are we, because you would bring up Bill Walsh because he was an innovator, understand that. If you really want to go old school, you could do that too. But at what point do we say Andy Reid?
Interesting. Well, I would still say Walsh because Andy Reid is a disciple of Walsh.
But if Andy Reid still gets a couple more.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, that's certainly possible. But Andy Reid isn't Andy Reid without Bill Walsh doing Bill Walsh things all the years that he was a head coach. Andy Reid kind of came from that tree. And I view the legacy. I think of the legacy. I think of not just the championships, not just the wins and the losses, but who developed, who became great on your watch, and who blossomed from your coaching tree. And I mean, the Belichick coaching tree, it's been well documented. It's disgusting. They haven't done anything. None of them.
No, Matt Patricia, no.
No. I mean, he's really smart. Don't get me wrong.
Well, we all the warning signs, like you said, like a guy on defense we're going to install as the offensive coordinator when you're drafting a rookie
Are you
quarterback.
trying to lose?
What?
Oh, you're smarter than everybody. We get it. Okay, you're smarter than everybody. That's right. Oh, fine. Okay, good God. We got to take a break, take a breath, come back. Round of shots in the sports bar.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I definitely, after that, you want to say
my stomach hurts.
actual laughter was produced. Shots in the sports bar as, we got another great night of baseball. Who was in the stands in L.A.? Yeah, trying to make himself a meme again, another firing in baseball. And, yeah, the Clipper. We'll give a little NBA talk here. There's a Rochester angle there as Jeff Van Gundy trying a different approach here with the Clippers.
You're listening. in Rochester. The Fan Rochester Sports Update.
Matt Milano, Ed Oliver, and also Spencer Brown back at practice today, officially listed as limited, so they're trending in the right direction. Also limited today, Jackson Hawes, Dorian Williams did not practice. Head coach Sean McDermott on what he's seeing from Patriots wide receiver Steph Diggs.
Very impressed. Not surprised, but very impressed in terms of how he looks. He looks great. Very few can come off of an injury like that from a timing standpoint, especially that first year, and look the way he looks. So, but I'm not surprised. He's a heck of an athlete, and he works extremely hard.
Sunday, our coverage will begin at 4 o'clock here on The Fan. The Guardians stay alive. They get a win in Game 2 over the Tigers, 6-1 the final. Padres looking to force a Game 3 as well. San Diego's up in Chicago against the Cubs 3-0 there in the 8th. Yankees need a win tonight against the Red Sox to stay alive. Gene Battaglin, the sports leader, 95.7 FM and AM 950, The Fan, Rochester.
Listen to the Sports Bar with Danger and Battaglia on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Fan, Rochester.
Well, needless to say, we're getting a lot of reaction to some of what Fitzy had to say. A lot of reaction from Performative Male last hour as well. We'll get to that here in your reaction on X. We're at The Fan Rochester.
I'm just a hot sauce covered ogre from Helm's Deep here, along with you, Danger.
Unreal. Fitzy just throwing insults, hurling. I mean, just eviscerating Bill Belichick. Just eviscerating him. Fantastic stuff. In the Odyssey app, you can go back and listen to any part of the show you may have missed for the next 72 hours as well. We invite you to do that with Fitzy, or check out our YouTube channel at The Fan Rochester. You can watch what we stream every afternoon from 3 until 6. Time for a round of shots, Gino.
Bases loaded, bottom of the ninth for the Yankees, no one out. And they can't get it done against Aroldis Chapman, that guy?
No, it's the PEDs, according to Fitzy.
Just the way he set that up, it's like, well, one, the catcher says, you can throw strikes to different. Really? I can just throw it at different
your fastball to different parts of the plate.
2, a workout regimen, and 3, well, PEDs. Allegedly. Boston holding on for the Game 1 win. So tonight, Yankees need this one. Carlos Rodon starting, Brian Bayo starting for the Red Sox. Shohei Ohtani with 2 home runs last night as the Dodgers in cruise control. They're looking to close out Cincinnati real quick. Yoshinobu Yamamoto going for LA tonight against Zach Little of Cincinnati.
East Coast dads continue to appreciate Ohtani making quick work of the Reds last night, so we didn't have to stay up late knowing that one was in hand early on. So, if we want to keep to an early bedtime, more of that from Shohei tonight, please.
Well, and if you missed this from last night's Dodger game, I don't blame you. You might have turned it off, right? Dodgers have this. Rob Lowe was there. He's at this again. Now, if you think Rob Lowe and sports.
NFL hat.
Yes. You would think he would have learned his lesson,
no,
right?
Did he wear an MLB hat?
No, here's the story. So, like, in Rob Lowe at a game, I don't know which game it was, just wearing the plain old NFL hat.
Right.
Nothing else. Turned himself into a meme. Well, there he was. After a Shohei Ohtani home run last night, they cut away to him wearing Dodger merch. No big deal, right? Not in Cincinnati. They are furious. Lowe was the one guy who in L.A. years ago declared himself a Reds fan, having gone to the 1972 World Series, having worn Reds merch over the years when they were more popular decades ago. Now he's just another fake celebrity.
No, what he is. He's a performative male. He's a performative male. I'm gonna start identifying them all over the place. Now that I know what it is, I'm gonna call people out. You, sir, you, Rob Lowe, you, sir, are a performative male.
This came up earlier on the show because some studies said my alma mater had the most performative males, which I thought, hey, I'm a performative male. I'm on the radio.
I thought performative male meant something different. It doesn't mean that necessarily, but I think ultimately it does mean that because you're doing what you're doing.
It's a fake image that you are, I know you love this word, curating.
Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Another managerial firing today, or not a firing, whatever you want to say, a mutual parting. Atlanta forcing out Brian Snicker. He had managed the Braves to the 2021 World Championship. That was 4 years ago. They made it look nice. They had the press conference. He was crying. He's going to take an advisory role. He's now 69 years old.
Nice age to retire.
I learned today what 6'7" means. And
that's courtesy of Sean McDermott, who's way hipper than you.
Apparently.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. What is funny about 6'7"?
Just
There's nothing funny about that.
What's funny about it is I say it and it pisses off my daughters, so now I say it all the time.
Well, that's funny. I can get behind that. Snooker had been with the Braves organization for 49 years.
Wow. Yeah, the whole thanks Snit and the social media. I mean, I guess you have to do it now, but like you're firing the guy. Like, does this make him feel any better? Is he cool with all this? Is he taking on that advisory role? Is he doing the Bruce Arians thing? He's just gonna slide into the background. We'll see.
We'll see. Who is the worst commissioner in sports today? Mike Danger.
Well, I'm gonna still say I think it's still Rob Manfred.
I think so too.
I think it's Rob Manfred.
Now, but Rob Manfred doesn't have. Well, Bryce Harper did that behind closed doors. Have a player that challenged him. You don't have managers. You don't have owners. Kathy Engelbert is not going to be long for the WNBA, the commissioner.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said sports. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Joking.
You have players piling on. You have coaches piling on. How about an outside observer, shall we? You may have seen on the NFL Network one of the reporters, Stacey Dales.
She's good.
Yeah. Did you know she played in the WNBA?
I did not.
She was the 3rd overall pick by Washington in 2002, stayed in the league 8 years. Okay, so she's got some cachet now in the media working for the NFL. Dales also is from Canada. She's from Ontario. And Toronto, an expansion team, right? And so Toronto, they asked her to host a party when they got the expansion team, and Dales hosted it for free. From the commissioner, there was no thank you. There wasn't anything from the league on social media talking about this announcement from Toronto. Dales says that Engelbert didn't even know who she was.
So did this happen recently? Did Dales shared this story?
Yes, shared this story just this week in regards to you had one of this player from Minnesota just putting the commissioner on blast. You have like the officiating, like it's out of control. Like everybody's taking.
Here's what we need from the WNBA. We need more stories about what's happening on the court and less stories about the bitching happening off the court between the players and the coaches and the other players and the GMs.
This time of year, you're not going to get that unless you move it to a different time. Like move your final to a different time of year.
Well, I'm not even talking. I'm just talking in general. Not even this time of year. Look, this time of year is elite. It's October 1st. We are entering the prime month of the sports calendar. The number one month of the sports calendar. It's October, number one with the bullet. And the WNBA is a part of that, but it's going to be a distant 5th, 6th when you talk about everything else that's going on.
All right, let's name it out here. NFL is always
King.
1. College football, I put ahead of baseball.
2. Yes.
Baseball 3. 4 would be NBA.
Yes.
5 would be NHL.
Yes.
Okay, what else could hop in at 6?
Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now we're down to 7.
Right. So I guess my point is, and maybe Caitlin Clark is a part of this because she's there, but she's not on the court. We're not talking about Caitlin Clark shooting logo threes. But I'd rather us talk about the greatness on the court for the WNBA. I think all of us in media are guilty of feeding into the drama of the off-court cattiness that seems to plague this league. And it drives me crazy.
They have no idea how to control their own narrative. You know who this reminds me of? It reminds me of the Doug Whaley era Buffalo Bills. No idea how to keep things in-house and how to, like, that's what makes
everything is getting out.
Yeah, everything.
All of the dirty laundry is getting out. It's just ugly. And I can't take it serious. Until that happens, until we're spending more time talking about great play on the court than we are about poor officiating or a bum commissioner or a coach that doesn't like this player, whatever it might be, or player. I'm okay with rivalries. I like the Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark. Like, I'm okay with that. That's on the court. But the cattiness between, the off-court drama is
you can't
more
have
than
a
I can
head
handle.
Coach like the woman in Minnesota just eviscerate the officials and the leadership.
Yeah. You come off as unserious. You come off as an unserious league. Well, that I didn't know that Stacey Dales played in the WNBA. She's a good reporter.
Yeah.
And Toronto's getting an expansion team.
They are, and so is Cleveland, and so is Detroit. So
no kidding.
Some growing pains in this league for sure.
Are they? Well, I mean, you only have expansions when you believe you're going to be able to make some money. So the Caitlin Clark show is coming to these 3 markets, and those 3 markets will benefit from one player. The one player who, if I'm not mistaken, the commissioner said should be on her knees thanking
her.
the WNBA for this opportunity.
That's tone deaf. So the LA Clippers back at practice, and it's crazy to think we're going to have the NBA coming up here in just a little more than 3 weeks, right? Coaches came out with their own design T-shirts. On the front, they read, follow along here, Danger, floor balance, urgency, consistent communication, concentration, know that we lost to Denver because of transition. Spell out that with the first letter of each of those. Floor, urgency, communication, no. These T-shirts designed by Nazareth grad and current Clippers assistant coach Jeff Van Gundy.
Very nice. Yeah. Very nice.
Is that a different way we teach these days?
One of my favorite Van Halen albums, For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge.
Yeah.
Yes, very well done. I like that little hidden subliminal message. Now, earlier in the sports bar, we were talking about Gene's alma mater, Fordham, being tops on the list of colleges for performative males, a term that I admittedly had never heard.
I had never heard of. I looked it up, and I'm not a performative male, but maybe in my younger years I exhibited some of that behavior. I don't know.
We got some traction on that from Suburban Gorilla on X. Some top 3 performative males. Top 3. Number 3, Tom Cruise.
Oh, 100%.
Number 2, Russell Wilson.
Oh, yes.
Very well done. And number 1, wait for it, Chuck Muncie? Oh, we just got Muncied by Suburban Gorilla. I don't know. Is Chuck Muncie a performative male?
No, he just had a drug problem.
Just got
one
Muncie.
of the greatest running backs of all time. Just couldn't keep his nose clean.
Yacht Rock John writing us, performative. If a guy who plays guitar can't be trusted, what does that say about a bass player? We see Yacht Rock John there, the bass player. Go Bills.
Yeah, that's you, John. You're a performative male.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
Own it. Let's ask your lady. She would agree.
One of our regulars in South Central Kentucky, Chris, reaching out. It doesn't surprise me that Gene doesn't know 6'7". He thinks Netflix and chill is that you stream whatever the true crime doc is trending and you fall asleep on the couch. He's not wrong on that one, Gino. You didn't know what Netflix and chill is.
I didn't.
As recently as just last year.
Danger, you didn't know what a performative male was. I was like, oh, good. I'm not alone on this because you're the hip, cool friend.
No,
here.
but I did have to explain 6'7" to you.
6'7" I had never heard of, and there was Sean McDermott making a 6'7" joke today.
Yeah, out of nowhere, just zero context. He threw out 6'7" because the kids are saying it. You've got a couple guys on your roster that are 6'7". Now I'm just looking for ways to say it just so I can annoy my children.
This look, if you don't know what 6'7" is, don't worry. I didn't either. Gen Z humor is weird. It's not even humor. It's just here's an odd thing.
I'm not going to judge because like I did earlier when you said how old Snitker was. I said, that's a nice age to retire at age 69. I can't be too judgmental in terms of what people find. I'm 12. My sense of humor is 12. I'm immature.
It's never moved from 12 to 13 in the years. No,
it has not. Wow, what a fun afternoon here in the sports bar, highlighted by Fitzy, who joined us earlier this hour from WEEI. We've got the Red Sox and the Yankees tonight. He shared his thoughts on that. And, of course, the Patriots coming to town Sunday night to take on the Bills. So, Fitzy, great get and a lot of fun earlier this hour. Also, PJ Glasser gave us his Week 5 best bets in the NFL, all of the action from this weekend in college football, and a couple of strategies for the postseason, Major League Baseball as well. Dropping a take on us. Glasser saying that whoever wins the Sox-Yankees series will be the American League representative in the World Series.
I don't know if you're going to chastise me or you're proud of me for this. Something I didn't mention in the updates, haven't brought up at all today, didn't bring it up in shots. Sabres play a preseason game tonight against Pittsburgh.
You said the S word. No, that's where we are. That's exactly
okay.
Where we are. It's football season.
Football
as
season.
We like to say. Well, there's that. Good luck, boys. Did I see Peyton Krebs on the first? I think I saw Peyton Krebs practicing on the first line.
This is where we're at.
Whew. Good luck with that. You find the sports bar wherever you get your podcasts. Search us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You'll find all of our guest appearances there tomorrow on the show. We talk more Major League Baseball with Jim Riley at Ballcap Sports. Who knows? The Yankees could be eliminated by this time tomorrow. And also Andy Behrens, the deep shot as Week 5 in the NFL gets underway. We will set your fantasy football lineup with Andy at 4:25. JR Sport Brief is on the way next. Hope you have a great night. Enjoy tonight's action. We'll be back at 3 tomorrow to react to all of it. On the Fan Rochester.
You're listening to the Sports Bar